Hello. Yes, that's fine. Hello. Welcome to Fragments, a Demiplanes of Dread campaign here at
Harrison Stream.
I am Harrison, your GM, DM, always interchangeable, don't know which one it is. And these are our players. We will go around in overlay order, introduce ourselves and who we're playing, and then we'll see who wants to give us a recap. With the TPK reward tables, we're not fully using those yet. We're just looking at a couple of things, how we want to implement it. You can use your chat points, but in terms of bits, we've currently got boons set up. We've got magic items set up, but we have no banes. So there's no curses at the moment, unfortunately. But everything else is good to go. Yeah, let's go around in overlay order, and we'll start with Jack, please.
I'm Jack. I'm playing Vanessa.
Excellent. Thank you. Down to Mad.
I'm Mad and I'm playing Z.
And then over to Luca.
I'm Nicolak and I'm playing Whisper.
Excellent. Who wants to remind us for one plump ball of inspiration what happened last week?
Come on, Jack.
He's doing his
I
best
did
now.
last week. I did the big one last week. This is on Luca.
All right.
I'll do next week's.
So we were able to get a long rest in the temple. Whisper had a dream, was called somewhere, where something pretending to be her god of death, was offering her a bargain without any apparent price, and she did not trust it because that's not how her death functions. So she was like, no, I refuse, thanks very much though, see you when I die. And then woke up, and then someone else had a dream or something weird, but I don't remember the details. And then we left the temple/outpost and we're walking through the forest back to town, and came across a zombie that seemed sentient and like self-aware and like communicating with actual language to the like lesser zombies that also seemed capable of communication, where we to this point had always been told they were mindless undead creatures of, you know, whatever. And so we were going to try and trap this dude and make sure he couldn't bite us or infect us so that we could be like, hey, what's going on? Ended up in a big fight and it was looking pretty dire. And then some dude in shining armor and a horse showed up and helped us out. And also our NPC died.
I was going to say, we're going to just skim over the poor fate of Ludwig Lorenzen. Long may he reign. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's where we are. We are picking up mid-combat. You can give yourself inspiration for that, Luca.
I found Alchemist Fire as well, which we think might be the secret weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you found a bottle, or you identified, Hazim, that the bottle you'd picked up, or the jar you'd picked up, was in fact Alchemist's Fire. And you know they've made a big deal about fire here, based on the brief time they had a dragon here in the past. Well, a drake. So yeah, let us head back into combat. Where are we?
Cool.
So our combat tracker has picked up from last time. Let me start our combat music up again. Very loud. And let's take us through to combat. Okay. So we are just picking straight back up at the top of a round. You remember, yeah, Ludwig had gone down. Just a number of zombies piled on top of him. Hazine Hopping Acid is a note I have left for myself last week.
Yep.
I think that was to remind you that your intent was to jump over the acid,
It
most
was.
likely. Yeah.
It was.
I am glad that past me left this very informal message for you. So yeah, Ludwig Lawrenson has gone down. Trying to work out what creature I'm targeting. There we go. Yes, back onto combat then.
He went down a few rounds ago, right? I mean, he's
About
dead. Right?
Oh, yeah, he went down 2 rounds ago, and 2 zombies with multi-attack have continued to lay into him. So yeah, Ludwig, not much with us. So yeah, top of a round. This zombie comes over, and is going to take a swipe at Hazim. And it misses. Lawrence does not make any more death saves. He is... the spark of his life has been smothered in shite, to quote Robert Baratheon in his early days.
Hey, that was my lunch, dude.
It's what?
It was my lunch. Just my lunch.
If we remember, Halessi, the invoked duplicity of Whisper has been luring a few of them away. However, this one swings so cleanly from forehead down to like stomach, and its claws just pass through, that even this mindless creature realizes that something is not quite right, and instead it begins to shuffle towards the next person it can see. These zombies continue to attack. This will also make a swing at Hazim. It's normally meant to swing advantageously. It's not going to, because he has a zombie strapped to his back. So in fact, he's going to get half cover from this attack. It does have multi-attack. Both miss. The knight that came riding in. Just a reminder of the armor of this particular knight. For some reason, it's not loaded up on the. There we go, on the screen. Because I was looking on the wrong screen. What's this? Plus 10 health to enemy zombie. Okay, one of the zombies is getting an extra 10 health. That's an expensive 10,000 channel points on zombie damage. This huge knight, winged helmet, comes galloping in, wielding a sword and a lance. This horse covered in a very, very sort of heavy plate barding in like a dark and gold style. It will continue to ride around, and Hazim, you just see it begin to break into a gallop coming over, and as it passes, it is going to swing at the nearest zombie for a 22, and it swings again.
I like the blood splash of the hit, 'cause it actually splashes onto my token. Like 100% what's happening.
It cuts this zombie down, but as it falls, you see, Mad, that it's starting to get back up. And the figure continues on the horse, riding. Next up, we have Zombie. This zombie, being the first one I noticed, will receive 10 HP. It is going to step away from... get up from Ludwig. And it's going to begin to move around. You see it moving around towards you, Vanessa. It went up and left because for some reason I couldn't go diagonal then, so it went up one, left one. Hazim, it is you. You have a zombie strapped to your back. I'd normally knock the movement down a couple of feet for dragon, but it's lost its limbs, and you are very, very agile and have a very high movement speed.
Huzzah. I will disengage with my action, and then I'm gonna jump over there.
Okay.
You allow me to just do it as my normal movement?
Yeah, it's only
or-
5. Yeah, it's only 5 4.
Just because I'm engaged in combat, so I wasn't sure you were going to make me roll or not.
No, you disengaged. It's fine.
Okay, cool. And then I'm going to drop zombie dude kind of like into the bushes a little bit there.
Yep.
And ready my glaive.
You mean narratively speaking?
Why?
Which means, which means ready your glaive.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I wasn't using it, but now
Yeah.
yeah. Sure.
Okay. Vanessa, it's you. Whisper, you'll come up in a second.
Yeah, I don't like this thing coming near me. Does it look like the knight is just doing a drive-by? Like, is he just on his way, or does it look like he's sticking around?
It would seem like he's, from how he sort of looked back as he's riding by, that he's probably supposed to wheel around shortly.
Okay. Then Vanessa's gonna go ahead and step back here, kind of hoping to use the shadow acid brew thing as a bit of a barrier. But she's gonna go ahead and aim a few magic missiles at these punks down here. And let me just pull it up. There we go. And I'm casting it at 2nd level, so I get another missile.
How long has your Corsic brew been up now? Like 3 rounds?
We're on round 4, so yeah, I think you cast it.
I would rule, but
I didn't-
by this point, there is very little left in the way of elk.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, for some reason, it's not letting me...
There's clearly some sort of prolonged exposure to the acid has just melted down all the flesh, and you can see like there's not even really bone. There's just a bit of a horrible singed dark ichor on the grass.
So for some reason, it's not letting me cast. It just keeps bringing up a template for magic missile.
Is there a damage button you can press instead?
Let's see. It's not even letting. Hold on, I have to refresh. This is not even letting me.
Okay.
Click it. So, pass my turn. I don't know.
Well, Whisper, be thinking about what you're going to be doing. Do you know which ones you wanted to target, Jack? And I can pop it for
Yeah,
you
the
for
four
now.
to the south of me.
So you're doing one on each.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that for you. Let's now have a look. Yes, this torrent of magic comes out from Vanessa, and it did 3 damage to each of them. You're doing 1 bead on each, weren't you?
Yeah, all 4 of them.
Yeah, okay, that's 3 damage each. One of them, it should have triggered a con save versus being destroyed. Let's see, so that should be DC 8 for it. Makes it. Yep, so the one that was on the floor was cut down by the knight, dragged itself up, almost gets blown back down again by the spell, but just a moment later, after it looks like it's down, the head just lifts back up. Anything else from Vanessa in terms of any more movement?
No. Actually, she's going to move back 1 and just kind of keep an eye on the dismembered.
Yeah. Okay. Whisper, it's you.
Okay, so I am going to. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
I am going to cast Sacred Flame on. Wait, why is that guy targeted? Not on that guy. On this guy, right below, south of me.
Okay. He fails, yeah. You see a burst of your white Frith granted energy around him.
Is he still fine?
Yes. He would have been down, but you can thank your friend Cole.
I see. Okay,
You
well
swole
then,
zombie.
I am then going to cast my bonus action. Cast my spiritual weapon. Can I pull?
You should be able to drag out from the summons folder. You should have grabbed Scuttle's there.
No. Did it let me?
Yep, it's
There we
got
go.
next to it.
Okay. And then attack it.
Yep. Just target it and click the damage of the spell and choose not to use the spell slot.
It wasn't
hits.
targeted for the attack. Okay. Now
Oh,
it
sorry,
should
that
be
was
targeted for the damage.
Yep.
There we go.
Remind me, and it's force damage, yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Despite that, it looks like it's going to get back up for a second, but the dirt just drives in deeper. And yeah, it ends up being driven into the ground and is kill. Anything else from you?
That's it from me. I'm staying right here for now until y'all can show where you're going.
Okay. The elk now gone. These keep moving forward. Do they take damage as soon as they go into the brew? The first time I step into it, Vanessa?
Yes.
Yep.
I believe they do. Yes.
Yep.
They
This
do.
first one needs some damage.
I'm gonna roll that damage. I think it's 2d6.
2d6, yeah. Is it a cantrip? I can't remember. Does it scale with cantrip damage?
No, it's a first level spell.
Okay. Way, you
beautiful new dice.
clearly
Look at 'em.
the
Look at 'em.
dice just needed to change.
Look at it.
Nothing but ones last week. That was max. Okay, this first one, as it just mindlessly stepped into the acid, you can see the acid just goes frothing up into the shadowy liquid just goes frothing and bubbling, coiling up its legs, and it almost begins to slump forward. That is a large amount of damage. But it does make it through. And it's going to take a swing at you.
Don't touch me.
Oh. And Hazim, apparently. It manages to hit, unless you're going to use a reaction.
I might. Yeah, let me see. I might use my shield.
Remember to target yourself when you cast it if you do.
Okay. Does it look like the others are healthy enough to just keep coming for?
The others all look damaged. They do look damaged,
Okay.
but their attention is on you.
Okay.
Right, even the dude attacked by the 1.5. Okay.
Yeah, because he's shot spells at it since.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna-
He rode off out of sight, and then small, delicious-looking Vanessa shot some spells at it.
She does look delicious.
I mean, I am snack.
Tasty.
Some serious gourmet shit. Oh, so you cast.
Yeah,
okay,
so I cast
let's
shield
have a
myself.
look.
So now my
So that
AC
misses. And that makes your AC, remind me, 16.
Yes.
Your AC, yeah, okay. So that's all that one's gonna do. Next up, this is the one that just keeps failing to recognise that. Oh, nat 1. It is still. It's gonna get Halessi eventually. Oh. Is it it's concentration, isn't it? Your duplicity, actually, Whisper.
She's not taking damage though.
But she's cast spiritual weapon.
Oh.
Yep, she would drop.
Yeah. Okay. Have you checked the spell
Hey,
description?
sorry.
We've been channel divinity. Have you checked? It's definitely.
Oh, no,
the
it's spiritual
case.
weapon a concentration spell. It's not. I don't think it is. I think it's just around for it's around for a minute. I think.
Just scrolling.
I'm looking.
Spiritual weapon.
Why does it
is
say I'm
not-
concentrating on something then?
It's now just got a C and says concentration. Yeah, because you never have to roll with spiritual weapon if you get hit.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, sorry.
she's
So yeah,
still up?
spiritual weapon is not concentration, but confirms the description your duplicity is. So yeah. So now that's fine.
Okay.
So yeah,
okay.
if this rolls nat 1s, it's going to get her eventually. It's going to keep trying. It's convinced it's going to get her.
Convinces its mate. It's like, no, come back. We're gonna have this.
Yeah. This one is coming for Vanessa. Roll 2d6, please, Vanessa. This one steps in.
5.
Drop it.
It looks very, very low. One of its.
Attack of
Oh,
opportunity.
of course, yeah. Yeah, I will move it no closer. That probably, yep, hits.
Oh, it's yours.
It survives. It makes a 13, and it just staggers forward, looking much for worse for wear. And this is going to make a claw. Vanessa, you are at full health, so this is not advantageous.
Still hits though.
Ooh, Hlessie. Who the fuck is Hlessie? It hits.
You do hit.
Sorry, Hlessie. And then as the blood comes from you, you see it just... And instead... What are you concentrating on?
Oh, Constitution.
Okay. The acid disappears. Did you delete the token, or did it do that automatically?
It did it automatically.
Foundry! And she will claw again, now advantageously. Hitting.
I don't like that.
Zombie on the floor. Jack, you just see at the corner of your eye this horrible moment where it continues being on the floor with no limbs and goes, those guttural words you can't understand. Nothing of import happens. This other zombie, one moment.
Other zombie dies.
Yeah, they all die, and we live.
They all die. We
Yeah,
won.
They all crumble to the floor. It's like when the head vampire is killed. Let's have a look. This other zombie swings at Hlessie and
Honestly, we should
connects.
test that theory.
It does not identify the rules though. Top of the round. Zombies continue moving in. This one comes for Hazim. Unsuccessfully. Ludwig twitches.
Oh, what? They're gonna quit.
Oh, come on. Should have killed you when I had the chance. When you were living.
And begins to drag himself up, his weapons remaining on the floor as a new combatant is added. I don't see a dice next to him. There he is. A 1. Straight to the bottom of the round. He's not found his feet yet. But yeah. Top of the round. I don't know why it jumped. Oh yeah, it's like that one stepped towards Hazim. My bad. That one is dead. This one is here. The one that this is going to try and just swing out at the knight as it rides past it. Misses. And swings again. This time at just the person it intended to. And misses. Zombie. The one that had been feeding on Ludwig now pauses, seeing a change in its victim as Ludwig starts to sit up and twitch. Most of them laid open, and it will stagger down and also approach the knight. It fails. Zombies continue. Just rushing over, trying to surround this figure as it's riding on by. The knight is going to make a swing. Hits. One zombie cut down. Then another of these huge sweeping strikes.
Oh,
from-
yes.
Oh, wow.
Coming from horseback. And then charges back. Hazim, it's you. Vanessa,
Okay.
you're next.
I will use a maneuvering attack when I attack. Which out of these two looks the most damage?
You're literally on the same HP. Oh, no, sorry. The one below you, has just escaped death a couple of times.
Okay, I'll attack this one first. Okay, so make a blade attack. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to do that as a maneuvering attack. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend 1 superiority dice to maneuver one of your comrades into a more advantageous position. You add the superiority dice to the attack's damage roll. So this will be with a 1d8, my damage. So Vanessa, this uses your reaction to move up to half your speed without provoking an attack of opportunity.
Fabulous. I'm gonna run. Yeah, I'm just gonna run up side whisper.
You get to do it immediately. So I'm kind of like slashing in its face. Well, I might as well do damage first. 1 second. So damage with plus 1d8. That work?
It survives.
What the fuck? What does it have to make with that damage?
It survived with a 14.
Motherfucker. I thought it added my damage onto it.
Let's have a look. 1d20 plus... 1 minus 1, 18. It rolled a 14 on a 1d20, so yours should have been 5 plus... Let me just remind myself how... a constant 5 plus a damage taken on less damage, so 5 plus 18, 20. That should be dead. Why hasn't that functioned? Yes, that is kill.
Kill, death, die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as it's I'm kind of like gouging it. I just basically just straight through its ear hole, and kind of like holding it in place as it's kind of like flailing as Vanessa is able to maneuver away, and then I am going to use my bonus action with my pommel on this dude next to me. As I kind of like skewer it out and just kind of like bring it across his jaw.
It's...
Still not got my damage to bits. Six damage.
To which one? This one here?
The one next to me, yeah.
It needs to make a save as well then. Which it will do disadvantageously. Thank you, last HP.
Nice.
Holy shit. With disadvantage, yeah. What was your damage there? Your damage was 6, so AC was 11. So yeah, it knocks back. You just see the skull clearly crack open as it staggers back. And then just sort of leans forward again. Clearly not enough to have finished it. Anything else from Hazim?
Yeah, I am going to take an attack of opportunity.
Yeah, it will certainly try. Oh, nat 20. As you turn, just maybe distracted for a moment by just the leak of fluid from its head, it just lurches forward and swings out at you. And yeah, you stepped away. Any more you doing?
Nope, that's me.
Okay. Vanessa, you're up. Whisper, you're next.
So these trees are presumably climbable, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna use my movement to get at least 20 feet up off the ground into the tree.
Mm-hmm.
And can I get to a height where I can shoot without like any kind of cover or disadvantage?
Yeah, I mean, normally no, but with the ability that you're just heading up that tree, you can effectively be stood on the trunk near enough horizontally out and lean up and aim between branches. Yeah, you absolutely. You're not going that high up. You're not in like a canopy. These are just middling-sized trees.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna climb up the tree and aim, take out my crossbow. I'm gonna fire and hope for the best.
Nice.
New dice, baby. New dice. You better get in.
Yeah. Tell me how you kill
It
it.
should be another one, right? Because it's 2d8 then. Or it's double dice.
Doesn't matter. A crit
Oh,
over. A
fantastic.
crit over
Right.
does undead fortitude. It is dead.
Nice.
Anything else from Vanessa?
No, I'm gonna stay up here and
Okay.
enjoy the fact that I'm actually having good dice rolls today.
Okay. Whisper, you're up, and you have advantage in your next roll thanks to Cole Arby.
All right, I am going to just reach out and touch Vanessa's shoulder and just kind of whisper under my breath. Yes.
I'm 20 feet up off the ground, so
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know if you can touch me. But I appreciate the gesture.
Shit, hold on. Does this require touch? God damn it. I'm going I'm gonna not do that. Vanessa can't kill you.
It's fine. I'm safe now, unless
I'm
one of these things grow
adding
wings.
back my spell slot, GM.
Okay.
And I guess we need to undo, or did it? It didn't apply yet.
It didn't
Okay.
undo.
Hey, poor Hazim's in touch distance.
Crap. Okay. Just hop up and touch your foot. Okay, so I am. Is this guy actively moving towards us? He hasn't moved since last.
I think he's about to,
whatever.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the
Okay.
last initiative.
Yeah, he was still in the same spot, so I just wanted to. I am going to. Why does it keep targeting that guy? I'm gonna sacred flame the guy next to the knight, just kind of throwing it out there. Oh, come on. Sorry, knight.
I mean, it hits.
Did he get killed?
It hits.
Sad.
Is it this one you just did? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really low damage. However, it was on 1 HP because it was under fortitude, and it's radiant damage. So
Yeah.
it dies. It just
Yeah,
burns
it dies.
up. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Man, I saw that roll and I was like, well, rip.
Yeah, on any other day,
Okay.
but it had 1 HP.
Yeah. Bonus action, I'm gonna move my spiritual weapon.
Yeah.
Rapskettle's Dirk down here.
It can make an attack as
And-
part of that movement, can't it? Of a bonus.
That. Yeah. I can move it and have it attack. Attack.
Yep, hits.
Okay.
Not the best
1.
damage. Yeah.
Can I use my advantage from chat
To what?
to
You-
roll
you
the
hit it.
damage again?
It's normally
to
for
reroll the
so it's only
damage?
for a hit, isn't it?
All right,
We
fine.
do, yeah.
Just asking.
Yeah, once it's hit, the roll.
Fine.
The advantage is for landing the blow.
So then again, I am just going to, having done that, I am just going to sit here and wait until it seems like we're moving in a direction or what have you.
Okay. Down here in a
Battle for the
How they
80.
doing?
in the low perception suite. Yeah, we miss.
Oh, honey.
Zombie on the floor continues
She's spry.
grumbling and
They're just-
groaning away.
Attacking too slow?
Yeah, Ludwig gets up. I can't remember. Do we say
What?
spiritual weapon? Sorry, he was already up. Ludwig continues shambling. You can pass through the spiritual weapon we established last time, didn't we? It doesn't get. We established it doesn't get attack opportunity, does it?
No.
In the
No.
temple. It just
Unfortunately.
continues on its way.
Attack.
Oh
Get
yeah,
out,
of course. Hits, and you just see it obviously isn't as rotten as this. It's clearly Ludwig, bled out,
Yeah.
ashen, his stomach and chest just hanging open. Yeah, and you give him a good strike.
Yeah.
He looks like he's in a bad way, but he just manages to wrench himself sort of with a sickening noise just sideways off the glaive and comes in to make a swing. You swat it away. Are we finally getting some? Oh yeah, an 18 hits. How's the int check looking? Doesn't realise. Still there. Still swinging away. Top of a round.
MVP, Leslie.
Yeah, absolutely. Plessy has put work in.
She's a goat.
She is going to
That Esmeralda.
attack the knight and misses. The knight sees this zombie on the floor in the direction it's galloping. You can call out if you wish to. It's just taking a moment as this zombie appears behind it to take a swing at the one that's behind him, and another crit. This zombie is just bisected, and it looks to continue its charge.
What is it? Just
at it
stomp
level.
over it?
Yeah, or someone calls out.
Okay. Well, I mean, I kind of threw it into the bushes, so I didn't think he'd be running over it. But I will shout. No, leave that one. We have need for it.
And it circles around, and you just hear from the helmet again "What need have you of this fiend?" And sort of just circles for a moment.
What do you say? What?
What need have you of this fiend?
We will talk when the fight is done. I say as I'm fighting this one off.
The day is all but one! And continues its way,
He leaving?
looking to leave. Hazim, it's you.
Asshole. And then we all
Wow.
died.
Yeah, right? Another horde
down.
comes and we just get fucked.
Okay.
Tell me how you nearly, but not quite, killed Ludwig. He's coming for you.
Well, then I'll double up with the glaive then, with the pommel.
Hits.
Oh, fuck now. 1d4 plus 2! I shout at him as he comes over to me.
Either way, you're that's the nominal amount. He survives.
Does he though? Oh, is it also rolled?
Yeah. Well, I applied the damage to him. I saw what the damage was when I put it on and it triggered the roll. Let's have a look at the nose. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 11. And the roll was 8, so yeah, you'll survive. Anything else from you?
No, I just kind of like got my glaive kind of like held closer, like halfway down the haft. I'm just trying to like batter my way with it and just try and keep him at bay a little bit.
Okay.
And I look over to the other side like, whenever you're ready.
Vanessa, it's you. Whisper, you're next.
Yeah. Gonna go ahead and seeing that I believe I head off this one, hope for the best against poor old Ludwig. It hits. That is impressive.
Survives. Ludwig finding his feet in his new form.
He has an arrow sticking out of his eye now.
Okay.
So please get a pretty good gun.
Anything else with Vanessa?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, whisper to you.
Okay, I'm going to attempt to whisper a prayer to myself again under my breath and try and send Ludwig beyond. Okay.
Oh, you target 2. You accidentally
What?
killed the other zombie, but that's fine. We know.
I'm
we know.
sorry.
We know that had
It
1
keeps
HP.
targeting him. Like every
Fine.
single time I target someone else, it targets him as well, and I don't know why.
Jeez.
Okay, so
He stands you. Tell me how you give Ludwig peace. Tell
Okay,
me how
I
you
will
destroy Vanessa's
see-
crossbow bolt.
I will see Ludwig attacking Hazim and just absolutely knowing that this is not how he would want to be. I will just whisper to Frith that he burns him away. And it'll come shining over him in a bright light like sunlight.
Yeah, you just see it happen right in front of you. Hazim is your leveling the glaive, and then Ludwig is on the floor, face down, unmoving. And
I
if
feel like our two buddies are too far. I can only move it 20 feet once it's up. So our two buddies down there are too far away for me to like use the spiritual weapon on them, but a little bit I kind of just want to leave them there.
Yeah, I think that's probably better.
Yeah, okay. Well, for now I will just leave my spiritual weapon up. Just kind of there in case anything pops out of and just wait for Hazim.
okay.
Does Ludwig have any obvious marks that will denote that who he is?
No, he was just a footman. I mean, it's not regular fire; it's holy fire. So his clothing is still almost entirely intact, other than where like his tunic has been sort of torn open as they were feeding on him. He's not particularly recognizable as the man he was anymore after burning up. But his clothing is almost entirely intact.
But does his face look like a zombie? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna with a swift strike. I mean, are we doing?
We're still in combat. Yeah. I was like, are you? Is that what you think you're doing? That zombie misses. That zombie continues calling out. This zombie. There's just you all become aware that there's just two zombies at the far end of the clearing now who are just swinging away at Halessi, just mindlessly, and just making all the just consistently failing to recognize what is going on. The knight continuing riding. You hear, "Remain true of heart, and we shall meet again." And you see just galloping down the path at speed until drops out of sight. Hazim, it's you.
Okay, I am going to. I'm going to go old school bartendless, and I'm going to cut. Just quick blade straight through his already mangled neck, straight through Ludwig's head. Through his neck.
No.
I'm going to take his head.
No.
I want proof that
Yeah. It took me a second to realise like it's happening. The collection begins.
collection begins. Get the gore bag out, guys. And yeah, so obviously I've got kind of like part of a cloak with this, so I'm going to kind of double it up and kind of like loop it around and tie it into, so his head's kind of like fastened teeth away, because you never know with these things. Could have a bit of a Santa Clarita diet thing going on, so I've just got the head facing outwards, and then if I can kind of like tuck it in as 1, 2, 3. I'll just move over to this dude.
Okay, Vanessa, to you. Whisper, you're next.
Well, I feel like we've got this kind of taken care of, right?
I feel like it's concerning we haven't been taken out of initiative yet. I guess we have to just go deal with those two dudes down there.
I feel like we could just roleplay that they just keep attacking it and they've not broken out of it, and then we can just carry on.
Eventually, like after a while, she'll go away. It's like an hour or something, but...
Can you move
Yeah,
her?
we
She
could,
just starts wandering into the forest and they just follow her.
that would,
Alright.
yeah, that absolutely could happen. Yeah, they will continue just swinging away until Strahd turns up. I mean, they will just keep continuing.
What?
I'm already here.
They will continue swinging away. So if you want to just address the two of them, what would you have Halessi do? Would you have Halessi just walk off into the forest and have them follow her, or?
Yeah, I guess so. If they are convinced of her,
Yeah.
like she will walk very slowly.
According to the dice, they are
Off into the
absolutely
trees.
enthralled. Yeah.
I will have
Okay.
her walk slowly to Kite.
She lasts
essentially.
an hour, doesn't she? Or is it a minute? She
Yeah.
lasts? Even a minute is.
Yeah, but what's the
Yeah.
range though? 120, wasn't it?
Good point.
Hold on. 1 minute.
We've got another 3 rounds.
Yeah.
We'd have to do it
Oh yeah,
quick.
120. 120.
Yeah.
So just
Okay.
wanders off.
Yeah. They,
Sure.
they follow her. They do, in fact, wander off, and eventually, all are gone. You are left with.
There was nobody here that looked like they had anything of note that they were carrying. It was just rags, right?
They were all just rags.
This dude's
Are we out of
alive.
initiative, or are we still in?
I have just ended initiative.
Okay. Vanessa's gonna climb down out of the tree and, in a huff, tear off some of the fabric from one of the zombies' garments, like a long strip. And without saying anything, she's just going to go into the bushes and gag the zombie if she can.
Nice.
Where is Vanessa?
Yeah, we're
No. Where did we go?
I only see a shadowy token. Did I delete Vanessa by
I
accident?
think you deleted me.
Oh,
I
she's
know,
undead.
man,
how
He
you
deleted,
feel.
he deleted all
That's fine.
undead with his macro. Gotta.
So yeah, this zombie just lying there now. Steam rising off the mutilated limbs from a caustic brew. Just looks across you all with dead eyes as you're gagging. As you're gagging at Vanessa, you actually realise now, despite the age and the state of the decay, that this was a woman.
Cool. I'm still gagging a bit.
It is always the women that are the talkers.
Vanessa
just-
snaps a glance up at Hazim. And then tightens the gag extra forcefully as to kind of show Hazim, if you keep talking like that, you'll be next. And she'll stand up and give it like a bit of a kick in the ribs. Quiet.
At that, I'm going to dart a glance at you, and I will reach out and put a hand on this thing, and just look at it. Do you understand us?
The eyes very slowly drift to you, whisper.
I
am
am
aware.
sorry for your form. It was you or us. But can you understand us?
Muff.
Is there anything?
Your
The head
bite
is just sort of lolling around a little bit, but making noises behind the gag.
Now that
Your
we're
bites
closer,
can
oh, sorry.
infect. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask. Now that we're closer, we can hear this zombie. Is there any recognition of the language they're speaking, or?
Nothing that any of you recognise.
Okay.
How old and decayed do they look? Like older than the others, or hard to tell?
In better shape than some of the ones that were in this party, for lack of a better word. Looking at them, if you're going off old tropes, this certainly does not seem to be like the ancient elder zombie. It's actually like
Oh.
less
Got
decomposed.
blue eyes.
Yeah. It's less decomposed than a fair few of them that were in this.
Okay. I look to these two and say, we shouldn't tarry here. There are many questions, yes, but perhaps here is not the place for them.
I worry that should we take this creature to the fort without getting our own questions first, we will never get them.
Wise enough.
I'm inclined to agree with Whisper. I think we should be in control of the narrative here, and if they're given the chance to question it before we are, then they get to spin the story, so to speak.
Yes.
Very well.
Or deem us not of rank to know.
Then perhaps somewhere closer where so much blood has not been spilled that will attract more creatures. We move on, give ourselves 20-minute walk.
Dim, could we do that?
What? Take it and just walk for a while. Of course you can.
Can we say, what I'm asking is, can we say we do that, or do you want us to actually go through the process of walking for 20 minutes to a grove that seems somewhat safe?
Well, what direction are you going in? Who is leading the way? Who is your guide through this
our
forest now?
guide is dead.
Well, Outlander, I would go back up to near the trail where we left.
Yes, remind me of the specifics of that. That is, you can't...
I cannot
Ain't
get
getting
lost.
Take it lost.
I literally, having been through the land, I know it like the back of my hand.
What is that?
Nice.
So, like,
Nice.
I know exactly how to get back.
Doesn't say you can't get lost. Just says you can perfectly
Well,
recall like the layout and
I'm
settlements of
sure,
other features.
but like by magical
around you.
means, I could get lost, but not just from navigating my way through land I've already been through.
In this situation, you absolutely can do what you want to do. However, it's not for future reference. It's not going to be a case of only magical stuff because that's specifically mentioned in the range of stuff that except by magical means. For the purposes
Okay.
of this, for getting back on a trail, I mean, you were still following your guide back the way you came when you stumbled on this place. So yeah, it does not take any sort of check for you to find your way back to the trail. Are you just proceeding along that for a little while and then breaking off it again or something?
I think what I would do if I was leading the way as someone that knew the way, I would find my way back to the trail and then cut off from that in the opposite direction of this, and just try and get off of the trail a little bit, but in a place that seems to have no recent activity and is slightly well hidden by thicket.
Okay. You're able to find somewhere that's an approximation of that description. Looks a little like this. looks a little like this when you get there.
Excellent.
That's so good. That's so good.
Excellent. Why can I not move myself?
I just moved you all.
Oh, I don't. Oh, weird. My computer just caught up. Once we are there, I am going to look at the others and say, if it can understand us, I think we will need to remove the gag.
Perhaps. I do not recognize any of the language that it was speaking. However, as we're kind of carrying it, I want to see if there's anything in this messenger bag that it's carrying.
Made of skin.
Made of skin.
It's pretty gross. Yeah, I'm gonna have a little look around it. I'm just gonna open it up.
It is filthy when you open it. There is a sudden just like flurry of flies that come out. To look or poke around inside, you find several things. There is an extremely decayed rabbit. It is in the it is absolutely in the putrefaction stage. You just see as you're moving things around, there is a lovely layer of fluid that's beginning to just like seep around the bottom of the bag from this. The smell is a delight. There is a very...
It's all splashing down my neck as I'm carrying it.
There is a very fresh, filthy, dirt-sodden bird. That
Freshly killed.
That appears to have a entry and exit wound.
Oh.
Ooh, has it got like anything tied to its feet, like a messenger bird?
No.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh,
Does it look like the entry and exit wound is like an arrow?
yes.
No, me and Luca thought we were both clocked
Yeah,
onto at the same time. We are so disappointed.
we were in the same as like, oh man, they're taking down messenger birds. Like they're intercepting ravens essentially. But okay.
Fucking DM didn't even play into it, did he, Luca? It's bullshit. A good DM would have made that happen.
But it does show that unless it's like harvesting other people's hunting, it's capable of utilizing weapons rather than just attacking. So we got tool usage. Here we are on the way to sentience and self-awareness.
And
I will
a collection, just a large number of acorns and pine cones.
What's collecting things? Oh no, don't make me like it. We ripped off its arms and legs.
So it's
So
a
your
hunter.
egg
It's a
is
hunter.
liquefied in that bag. So
So it's a
Okay,
hunter-gatherer, basically. So this skin, does it look? I mean,
It is
it look like-
absolutely human skin.
okay, it's not like been tanned or anything.
Vanessa noticed a face in it last session, and now you're all close to it around. You would all very clearly notice the face on a portion of the bag.
Gross. Can I lean down to it? And again, I'm just kind of putting a hand like right here, and trying to speak in as good cop voice as I can. Just
I can't control him when he gets angry.
your mouth can infect us should you bite us, but I would like to be able to communicate if you can. Can you nod if you are able to do so? Okay.
did it nod, or did it just say?
It nodded.
Nodded.
Okay.
So is
I
it?
feel like I'm having a conversation with that zombie and I am legend and it's a little freaky.
Does it look like? I mean, I don't know. Does it look like it's got intact vocal cords, like its neck isn't all like rotted out?
Yeah.
Okay. So it can speak. So it's just speaking. It's just not speaking our language, but it does understand it.
It's definitely damaged the voice that you're hearing, even when you heard it before.
Hey, look
Sorry,
at
I
Luca.
am just seeing a screenshot that Cole posted of my face. Sorry. I will look at the others and kind of carefully try and pull down the sides of the gag, quick to like not like any quick bite is not gonna get me. As best I can.
So what are you trying to give it the old?
I mean, as I see it, I will hold its head from behind. So
Yeah.
it's
So like
not
if
gonna
it
move.
Yeah.
if it's got a gag, I will just try and come around on the side and like kind of pull down the cloth, allowing it to like come
And
down.
Hazim is gripping the head in place
Yeah.
anyway. It sounds like as well now.
Yeah, from the back, I'm just like making sure.
So yeah, as you pull it off, there is a just a couple of impotent just snaps of the jaw until like your hands are away. When it's slightly, it's struggling against you, Hazim, but it's nothing.
now.
It's
not
nothing.
going anywhere.
Yes,
I will kind of like set back a bit, like just on my like squatting, and like kind of look at it. We were not aware that you still had working minds. Can you speak our language? Is there a way phonetically I can try and remember what it's saying?
I mean, does it keep? Are you legitimately repeating Scranor?
I would
Yeah.
say that. I
You
would
have
say
said it a
that.
few times.
Oh, I was
Like-
going to say that.
like-
Oops.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say to what you were saying. Vanessa's actually taken out her journal. Does she? Does she still
Awesome.
have her journal?
Why would you Why would you not?
from losing everything at the beginning?
Oh, I think we established that you quickly found another book to start serving as one. Didn't
Oh, that's
you,
right.
in
That's
the,
right. Yeah. Oh yeah, because I've been transcribing stuff, of course. But I'm gonna actually take down the phonetics of what this thing is saying, as Whisper is talking to it.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Seeing that, like, I will just continue. I am sorry, we did not know.
Do I recognize the language at all?
No, none of you do.
Okay. I've just laid. I've kind of like laid it up against a tree trunk now, and just kind of like moved away a little bit. Kind of like wedged it in a bit so it can't just kind of like roll about.
And as you it's sort of just you can see it's trying to sort of get up, and it just like slumps back onto its side after a few seconds.
I lean into Whisper. Like, hey, ask it if it's from here. Like, I'm like not interested in talking about. Hey, why don't you do that?
Do you remember who you were before you were this?
That's a good one. And as she says that, I'm going to kneel down and start emptying the messenger bag in front of it. Like the acorns and the bird and the rabbit and just pour the rabbit out.
As you sort of take it out, there's a bit of a it's a bit of like a horrible wet slopping noise as it all comes out. And yeah, there's a fair bit of soil and dirt that has come from the other feathers of the bird, just like clogged with dirt. So it's just like a big slop of bag. As to Whisper's question, the eyes just fix on her again, and eventually just a bit of a.
Are you from this land? Can't even hear phonetically what that was.
It was.
Is that like a no or a?
There was
Do I
no.
get the
There
impression?
was no head movement. That was just a noise.
Okay. Do you take action under your own will?
Just tries to bite at you again, very, very unsuccessfully.
Does the hunger drive everything you do?
Just you tell that sometimes there's just listlessness, and
Yeah.
it just you get the attention occasionally. When the attention is on you, it kind of drifts to you and definitely remains there, but quite often the eyes and the head is lolling away. You just keep bringing her back to you occasionally.
Is
Hey,
there a
does it
way
look
to
like-
help? Oh,
Go on.
is there a way to help your people?
The head almost seems to, depending on where Hazim's positioned, almost seems.
I mean, from now, I'm next to.
Oh, okay. Just almost like drifts to the items that have been emptied out of the bag.
Okay. Can I glance an eye over this and try and see what about it would be helpful?
if I separate the animals, so they're obviously apart, like the acorns, the rabbit, and the bird.
Right, that's not John Locke. One of these belongs to you, Mrs. Zombie.
I'll just kind of like part them in the dirt.
Yeah, when you pile them in the dirt, I'll go ahead and just kind of go into Eldritch Sight mode and just look over everything just to make sure that nothing is enchanted.
Eagle eye. Oh, you're using your detect magic, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing here is magical other than the artifacts you already have on you.
Yeah, I'll just say it's everything here is mundane. I think it was just foraging and hunting.
Foraging and hunting, but the bag that she uses is still made of human flesh. They are, I don't know, primitive folk.
What direction do your people live?
Home.
Jesus.
What Jesus?
I just didn't like that. It's creepy. I'm gonna look up at the others. Like,
I think we should let it go. Oh.
no, I understand that to keep it in this state much longer is a cruelty. Even one that I would not wish on animals.
You say this, but clearly Ludwig had not seen anything like this before, so it is important. We cannot end it here.
How would he have seen this if they are killed on sight?
And it starts to getting louder. Just going.
I'm gonna quickly gag. Put a
What
gag
does
around
it sound like it's saying?
Sounds like it's saying
Harry.
It sounds like it's saying Harry or Harry.
Sounds like it's
Or help me.
I couldn't
Marv from
go
Home Alone.
much louder with that because my son's bedroom's above this. He'd probably wake up fucking terrified.
When Marv from Home Alone gets hit in the face with a brick, he's like, Harry! That's what it sounded like.
Did it also
Okay,
sound a bit like help me?
I am.
Yes, whisper.
Oh, I was giving you a chance to answer. I didn't want to cut off.
All I heard was-
Vanessa's question.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear Vanessa's question. Go on, Vanessa. Sorry.
Oh, I just said, does it sound like it's trying to say help me?
No, it's got. You've noticed this. It does have lips. It would be easy for it to make a P if it wanted to.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
I am going to look at this thing. Look at the items and the fact that it just said his name. Are these for Harry?
And it's still calling, muffled behind the gag, but then eventually just nods. You think. It's like a lolling around a bit now, it's calling.
Is Harry from before?
No response now, just the lolling and the noise. Loud, well, you can tell it's putting more effort into making it louder, but for the gag it isn't really getting any louder. But you can see there's more
All right,
exertion.
I'm gonna reach out and touch it again, just trying to get its attention. Is Harry your child?
I'm gonna kind of step up. We've got as much from this thing as we're going to. If we wish, we can travel and try again before we get to the fort, but I imagine we've exerted as much as its mind has got today.
I will just look at her and say, again, I am sorry that you had to be the one to die so that we may live. If I find Harry, I will help him. And then I will just step back and just kind of nod at Hazim.
And I kind of crouch down and I'm going to pick you up again. It feels awkward now, but
I'm
it is what it is.
gonna look up for a second. Are we still wanting to bring her back to them?
I think.
Is there
I
any
think it's
reason we
ultimately worth
wouldn't?
it. Sorry, Hazim?
Is there any reason that we wouldn't?
I would not find a dog, chop off its legs, and then bring it back to be dissected by leadership. Just because some dogs have rabies.
But you have hunted, yes?
Yes, but I kill the animals swiftly.
Of course, but what if there was a creature that was running all of your people out of your burrows? Would you not do whatever you could to protect yourselves?
Look at him getting with the lingo.
Whisper is gonna have a strange look on her face, as if she knows exactly the feeling you are bringing up. And she will just say, I would do what I needed to survive, and I have no issue with that here, which is why I believe that we should kill this creature. We fought, we chose our lives over it, but I do not believe that we should condemn it to such a cruel fate.
But what if the information that it has, the semblance of a mind, what if in the right hands, it can help?
Right hands? They
Not
have
ours.
swords and axes and are mystified by our magics. They will get nothing from this creature other than pain.
Perhaps not from the fort, but perhaps Pietra will. You have to consider that the information that this creature, for it is no longer a person, let us be real about that. It is a creature.
It speaks a language.
Every
Are you
bird.
saying that immediately every war you have ever seen, the other side is no longer a person?
Are you saying
Because
that
they
every
fight
bird
against yours and seek to wipe you out?
is every bird a person because I do not speak its language? There are plenty of creatures in this wood that I do not understand, but they communicate. Just because this one has some semblance of the language that I speak, I would not call it a human. I would not call it alive.
Again, there are those that we kill so that we may live. But there are not those that we torture and condemn to cruelty so that others can get some sort of satisfaction for personal measure, but no actual results.
But it would seem that... Oh, I know. Okay. The zombie is run out of an extra paper. But Pietro is trying to do what he can. Yes, they may be experiments because their knowledge, I suppose, in many things is rudimentary from what we have seen, but we do not know other things that they know. We should not resign them to being ignorant of all things because they do not know some of the things that we do. This creature here could help cure everybody. It could help bring these mindless zombies to be more mindful. We do not know, to end its life or unlife here. I understand that you do not wish to put it through torture and through pain, but it is potentially the greater good, Whisper.
I do not believe in being inhumane for the greater good. And I will just stand and step back.
I believe the many outweigh the few, and so we put this to a vote. There are 3 of us. The many shall outnumber the few. I say we take it back to the fort. Whisper, you believe that we should kill it here?
Yes.
The nest?
Nest stops. This has actually stopped writing to just sort of watch and survey, taking everything everyone has said. There is a point that Whisper brought up that, and that it seemed that you also kind of elaborated on, was that this fort cannot do anything with this creature other than torment it, and dissect it. There is a chance that in this Morfenzi place that someone there has the capability to speak to it, to understand it. And there's a moment where Vanessa looks down at this creature and into its eyes. I don't know if it would be insight, but I just want to get a sense of whether or not it looks like it's in pain and responding to that pain. Or if this is just like animation.
It never seems to like be looking to its severed limbs in like shock or pain or anything like that. It seems oblivious to. It clearly has some level of focus that it's able to give, and you've seen that it's definitely heard things. You saw that it, when it noticed you, it turned to you earlier. I mean, it turned to its comrades and presumably gave some sort of instruction. But its awareness and its focus definitely seems to just occasionally spark on. A lot of the time it seems to just be lost in this fog.
Is it still kind of like writhing about, or is it
Yeah,
calmed down?
yeah.
Still going for okay.
I don't think that at this point, the way that whatever curse is placed upon the dead here, I don't think this one has any sense of its own physical form. It doesn't seem to feel pain. It acknowledges it, but it doesn't seem to feel it. So I'm not terribly worried about whatever else this creature might endure. Though I understand the moral concern that you have, Whisper, I think that if there is some way to convince those in charge at Fort Watton to maybe have us transport this creature to Morfenzi or even to Dragov's court for herself to see what kind of creatures are spawning in her wood. I think if we can use this as leverage, we keep it alive. If there is a chance that we are not able to, then we kill it ourselves. We put it out of its misery and ours.
So it's been a decision made to try to keep transporting it with you, man?
I mean, however anyone else responds to what Vanessa said. But yeah, she's pro keeping it as long as they can control what happens to it.
I don't think we will get to choose. I think when we bring this thing to Fort Watton, that is where our decision making will end. But I think that they will want to end the suffering on this place wherever they can. If they feel that this is something that will end their fight, I do not think they will simply tie it up and poke sticks into it. I feel that they will do whatever they can. If we volunteer ourselves to transport it to Morfenzi, even with Whisper and the gifts that she has, they might be interested in us going there anyway.
That's the hope. I think the ultimate goal, here at least, is for us to get out of the fort, away from the battlefields and back to civilization and back to others who might be able to get us out of here. If that means using this creature as leverage, or... I don't think our work, as it stands now, will get us out of the fort. I think that the more that we do for them, the more that Whisper especially does for them, that they are going to want to keep us working for them. And I'm not inclined to do that. I think that the ultimate goal should be to get out of here, to find a way out. These people aren't going to know that. So we need to get to people who do. I think those people are possibly in Morfenzi, or at least within Drakov's circle. So however we approach this, however we utilize this creature, it needs to be in a way that puts us at advantage. And I don't think killing it here is going to do that. I can bring back this transcription, and unfortunately we are the only 3 witnesses, and we are foreigners. If Ludwig were alive, he could at least corroborate, but that is not a reality, unfortunately. And Vanessa gestures at the head that's, I assume, fastened to Hazim's belt.
It's wrapped in a bit of a, wrapped in his cape, and then kind of like looped in.
Yeah, she kind of gestures to Ludwig's head. So we bring it back, I think. And depending on the response, we take control, kill it ourselves, and if they're amenable to our ideas, to bringing us into Morfenzi, into a more civilized area, then we follow that path.
Okay.
Perhaps,
So, good to see.
perhaps to protect ourselves. I mentioned it before, but now it seems we have a different bargaining chip. Perhaps we keep the alchemist's fire to one side until we know the true motives of the people here. Perhaps in the tree line before we reach the fort, I bury the vial of alchemist's fire. If we are adhered to our demands and, well, our requests and sent to Morfenzi, I can uncover it and take it to Dr. Pietro or whoever is more appropriate there for this kind of thing.
Okay. So you bundle up what's left of this figure. Is it the same on the back arrangement as before?
Yeah.
Yep. And
We're bringing back everything with it, right? Like the bag and...
Yeah, we can put the stuff back in its bag.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, you get back onto the trail, Whisper, I presume, leading the way. And yeah, as you continue on your way to Fort Watton, that is where we will take a 10-minute break. So we will be back in 10 minutes. It's 5 past now. We're back at 1:15. Yeah, stick with us. Much more to come. This stream brought to you by Walker's Smoky Bacon Flavour Crisps. Oh, that's real. For a second, I thought I'd went to the wrong screen, but didn't show the cameras. So it's just saying it. Okay, yeah, hello. Welcome back to Fragments. We took a couple more minutes there, sorry, because obviously, as you can see, Hazim can't shovel crisps quite as effectively. He takes his mask off for a few moments.
I'm not as quick at shoveling as Luca.
I'm really good at putting things in my mouth.
Now, do you know what?
Let's keep this PG, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to stay on task as a DM. So, we have picked back up in the Southwood, where the group have decided, not unanimously, to bring this perhaps slightly sentient or with it, able to communicate, zombie back to Fort Watton. We now find ourselves making our way, retracing, the group hopes, thinks, very confident with Whisper's abilities, back towards Fort Watton. Let me just bring that all up on screen. It should be loading through now. Has the scene loaded for you all?
No,
I
sir.
see trees.
Nope.
I see
I
sunlight,
just see a black
plants.
screen. You want me to refresh?
No, let me just.
Do it properly.
I see sunlight. Now I see darkness.
I see trees are green. Roses.
Why? I don't know why it isn't loading. Let me just hit F5 on that.
I see them bloom.
I'm going to load a different scene for a moment. I will take us back to the clearing.
Oh no!
And then I'll take us back. There we go. Is
There
it
you go.
the... Yeah, Luke had led us into a cave. So, we are on the trail in the Southwood. The Whisper is leading the way. Maybe a survival check, please, Whisper.
With assistance, with advantage, with aid.
Are you proficient in survival?
Yeah, I just let Luca do it all the time, but yeah, I am.
Okay. Yeah,
And yet, you still poo-pooed it anyway. There we go.
Okay. Take the second one, so you take the 9. So unfortunate. Yeah, so you manage to find the trail. You make your way for a little while. After an hour or so, you stumble upon a disturbance in the undergrowth. You notice, Whisper, there are small piles and scatterings of soil and a divot, a bit of a hollow in the earth. Looking around, it would be very quickly apparent to all of you that there are finger marks this has been done with. And just looking around, taking stock, you would recognise that this is where Hazim shot, opened up, and then buried the bird.
Yeah. I knew it was very apparent, so I knew.
Well, I totally didn't get that.
Well, no,
But
only
okay.
because the DM precursed it by, this is very apparent, so I was like, yeah. Yeah, I know everything's about to say then, but I didn't. Okay, so we're on track. That's good.
Okay, I'm gonna look back at Hazim, and then the creature. Why would she dig up your bird?
Who? Huh? Why would you presume it was her?
Was there not a bird shot through with an arrow in her bag? Was this not where you buried?
I mean, did it look like it had its guts, cope, and entrails and stuff, DM?
Yes, but I forgot you
Okay.
did. But I forgot you did that. Yes.
Okay.
You would see,
Then-
but yes.
Now the dots connect. You were there a point ahead, so well done for you. I grant you inspiration.
Do you know
In
what?
that case-
I grant inspiration to Vanessa for not playing inspiration politics.
Hey,
I'll take it.
I wasn't participating.
Yes.
Yeah, but, you
yes,
know, takes two to tango.
Whisper can have inspiration for that. That is an acceptable awarding of inspiration.
I still haven't used mine from giving. the
Then it is
recap.
lost. It
Yeah,
burns. It burns into the ether and is lost.
Yeah,
Like they're trying to grasp onto it.
but I appreciate having it anyway.
Come back! Don't leave me.
Then in that case, it makes me seem like I had not picked up on that, even though there were significant clues omitted originally. I don't know, perhaps she dug up the bird and got onto our trail.
Her hunting party didn't seem too concerned about us, though, at first. I don't think they were.
Didn't we ambush them? Like
We did.
Of course, but they were distracted
okay,
by a
okay.
meal. There was an elk that
probably potentially kept them busy for a while. I imagine we
That is
travel
what you
much.
choose to believe.
I mean, it is all conjecture, is it not? We do not know. You've asked the question as to why she dug it up. I don't know. I was trying to give you a reason, but I don't know. Why don't you ask her?
The dead here, they're usually buried. But this place is old. At least it seems old. And perhaps there are customs, burial customs that the people of this land once adhered to, things like burial, and maybe they're remembering. Maybe they're remembering those kind of burials, and more unsettling, they're raising their numbers by digging and pilfering these graves. Even small birds can perhaps serve a purpose. Or maybe it was just part of a hunt. The rabbit inside was putrefied. Maybe it was behavior.
I have been on many hunts. I have tracked alone, I have tracked with my Alsara. If you are hunting game, then sometimes you will look for signs, what it has been eating, where it has defecated, tracks. The fact that these mindless creatures have found this bird and dug it up, but chose not to eat it, instead they have kept it. I think they were tracking
You
it.
ate it most. You
I didn't eat any of it. I don't always just chow down on it. I don't eat it. I'm just kind of like biting it apart and stuff.
giving you shit, man.
The fact that they did not eat it, and it is still fairly intact from when I shot it,
And when you bit into it.
and when I bit into it. I am thinking that perhaps they got the scent of a larger game, a more interesting game. I think they came hunting for us.
It's moot now. They're dead, and well, dead again. This one we can't understand. So
Has she settled slightly while we've been walking?
As you've lingered here, she sort of stirred up a little bit again. And through the gags here.
And I will kind of like just give her a little tap on the head, on the side, like kind of watching my things, like a bit more on the top of the head, and kind of like aim it towards, whisper, and say, "Hey you, were you hunting me? Could you smell me from the bird, or perhaps from probably the piss, right? Were you tracking us?"
You're looking at me while I
No,
while
I'm
you say
pointing
this?
her. I'm pointing her to you. I'm kind of like asking her, but letting you see how she reacts to it.
Doesn't seem to really react, just muttering away through that gag. Just drifting around listlessly.
I think she's the tracker. I think she's a hunter. She has acorns. A rabbit. It suggests that at one point she was a hunter-gatherer for whichever people she belonged to. This was the only fresh kill. The acorns, how fresh were they?
Vary. Some of
Very
them,
fresh.
some could have been picked today. Some, whether they were bad when they were picked, or it's been sat in just this fleshy liquid. And, they've certainly spoiled. A couple of them look like acorns. As you pick them up, your fingers near enough to pass through them. They're so mushed.
The acorns were all somewhat fresh as well. Perhaps somebody else has passed through here, interacted with these acorns. Perhaps they were tracking those as well. Again, a presumption, but clearly she is more intelligent than we think.
I will turn back silently without a word and continue tracking again forward.
I just give a side eye to Vanessa.
And Vanessa gives a very not subtle side eye back. I'm sorry, did you presume to think that I thought it was not intelligent?
No, it was more that as kind of like whispers, kind of what. She just seemed extremely upset about what we are doing here.
Well, what else are we going to do? Look, and at this point, she's starting to get a little flustered. Not at Hazim, but just by the talk itself. I can't help but think, and she gets a little quiet, almost confiding in Hazim a bit. I can't help but feel as though sometimes Whisper is resigned to this. And I mean no offense by this, but you to a lesser degree. And I understand taking care of the present and living in it, being present. But my goal here is to get out. And I will get out. I would like to have help. I'd like to have your help. I would like to have her help. But if either of you are resigned to this place, this land, and as this is your life, I will find others.
And, I have no intention of staying here, but I have been many places, and I have stayed in many places for a long time. This is just another one of them. Somebody telling me that I cannot leave? Just because others did not do it before us doesn't mean that I feel that I am stuck here forever. So believe me, when you go, I will be by your side, and I hope that Whisper will be as well. I do not think she is happy here. There is an unnatural element about this place that I imagine does not sit right with her. But we will leave together. It is less about the task at hand that lays heavy on me, but more having a companion that I'm with, not being comfortable in what we do. Perhaps there are times we will have to make the hard decisions for her that she does not want to make. But that does not make them any easier for me to make them. I don't wish to upset her.
I agree.
As do I, says Dakash, off to your side, Hazim.
I turn to one side and I just look.
As you look away from your peripheral, as you turn into your peripheral vision to see your son, you can just see stood off to the side. As your head
I've never
turns
seen him. I've never seen him, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, of course, you know it's him. But as you turn there, as you turn to him, there's nothing there. And Vanessa, you didn't see a thing.
I've noticed that he's like looked away and had that moment of.
Oh,
what the fuck?
I would
You tell me.
100%. I would 100% be distracted, like suddenly, kind of turned so quickly that my head turned, but my mask stayed in the same place. That's how quickly I turned. Yeah, I would be 100%. I mean, drawn away from this conversation that we were having.
What is it? Did you smell something? Hear something?
I don't know. I thought I did. But it appears to be nothing. Let us not linger in this place.
I'm just.
Do I get a sense that after he says that, do I get a sense that there is a different kind of weight to your words?
Roll me an insight check.
All right, yeah. I'll do it.
I would say. I mean, I'm not necessarily trying to hide anything, so I'll just do it against my passive deception, I guess, which is only an 8. So yeah, all day long you know that there was something other than my meaning.
Yeah, she'll keep it to herself, but definitely take note of it, and keep walking.
Okay.
As we kind of like move away, and I kind of with Vanessa, I will cast a glance back to where I think I saw the cash.
Nothing there.
Yeah.
We carry on for a few more hours. Whisper, you've got this path. A couple of times you even stumble on what's clearly your own tracks. So there were obviously one more set of prints heading in the opposite direction. After a while, a good few hours, near enough getting to not far before nightfall. The sun's definitely lower in the sky. You emerge out back onto the road.
Hazim.
Yeah, before we go onto the road.
Yeah. If you're wanting to talk, are you, Vanessa?
Oh, Hazim, the alchemist fire.
Of course. And yeah, not too next to the road that we would be seeing. I'm going to kind of like hold back a little bit. Are we at night time now, did you say? Or it's pretty much...
Not yet. We're in early evening, yeah.
Like early dusk? Or...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I will look around for kind of like where we are in terms of coming out on the road, in terms of the fort. Are we near the fort? Sorry, are we coming out where the fort was? We are coming out where the fort was, weren't we?
No,
That's where we left.
No, you headed in about here. So you're about a kilometre away. You can easily, it's not like you haven't got eyes on you yet.
Okay, so we're a kilometre to the north, yeah?
Yeah.
So we'd walk past this way if we were going basically anywhere else.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything around that looks like it's of significance, that is memorable, like a large twisted tree or...
Maybe a survival check, looking for someone that has a particular memorability to it.
Nothing. It's just every tree looks exactly the same. It's like I've walked into...
If it had been a good roll, it would have been a gallow tree.
It's like I've walked into a map cartographer map where it's just the same tree over and over and over again.
You become somewhat confident that this tree is one that you could maybe find your way back to. You recognise it as it's surrounded by several other trees.
I mean, I get that I rolled low, but does it really look that fucking different? I'm still not an idiot. I'm still like a base, like, yes, this thin normal tree looks so different to all the other thin normal trees.
Yeah, you find a tree that has it's grown in a bit of a distinctive Y shape compared to a lot of the others.
Okay. And then I will kind of like look around to everybody else and say, I suppose here is as good a place as any. He says, so convinced. And I will...
He just places it on the floor.
Yeah, I will...
Hangs it up in the tree.
He throws it up to the tree.
This fiery tree will be a good point of interest. Yeah, I will dig a little hole. Little fox. I'll get Whisper. Go on, dig me a hole. Dig me a burrow. Bury it in. And then, yeah, on a nearby tree, I'm gonna rub a bit of her ladyship's kind of like gangled, kind of cut off limbs, like mark a nearby tree with like gore.
Okay, and are you doing that on like the side that faces the road? Are you doing it opposite the road side? You just
away from the
a
road.
tree?
Yeah, away from the road.
Okay.
So that it's like, I think I might be able to find it if I ever find this exact spot again.
Yeah. I mean, I'm random.
Like larger rocks or anything like that?
Not around
Again?
here, but
There's no rocks.
no, it's
Just one wide
heavily
tree.
just heavily wooded. But there's not any very noticeable sort of structure. But you can get a tree and you can daub it up.
Yeah, Vanessa will take out her dagger, just carve an X into to the lower part of the tree, so it's not completely obvious when people are walking by. But like you'd have to look closer to the ground.
If she's gonna try and do it on the one where it's buried, I'm gonna like say no, do it near a different one. Don't have them looking where X marks the spot.
Fair enough. I don't know why I would be looking for X marks the spot. But...
I mean, I don't think either, but I don't know what this one's going to say. She might start chatting away to people.
Fair enough. And she'll go like two trees down the road, I guess. Just put a big arrow that points in the direction.
Number three trees
Yeah.
along.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, she'll just carve a little X at the, not a little one, but an X at the base of the tree.
She just writes it in the periodical table because they don't know science here.
Actually, yeah, not that, but she'll put 3, like a whatever the equivalent of Roman numeral in this place would be, Roman numeral 3, so that she knows that it's at least 3 trees away from.
In my setting, the Romans are canon in Tharian, so you can just do I.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But it's all -1, so 1 is 0, 2 is 1.
Yeah, half of the numerals went to Toril, the other half stayed on Ava.
So I know them both.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorted.
So yeah, we bury the alchemist's fire.
We do. And then I imagine staying within the tree line a little bit. I don't know how safe it is on the road. It's a bit open, a bit exposed. I would suggest that we.
I would say that you, just for your information, you walked up the road fine with Ludwig before you branched off to go into the undergrowth. He was fine walking on the road then. Just put out there. Just so you're not always spending the whole campaign sneaking along if you don't want to.
Could be zombies on the road.
Okay.
We were wandering
yeah.
zombie.
Okay, yeah, so you're creeping. Let's put all the zombies in the undergrowth now. So yeah, you are heading, I presume, at somewhat of a slower pace then, back towards Fort 1.
I mean, how built up is it right next to the road? You know?
Oh, what we rolling? We're rolling stuff.
Stealth check.
I thought
Okay.
I thought we were sneaking around. Is that not?
I mean, if you want.
Yeah. These two are walking ahead and
I mean,
Whisper's
I'm
like,
not. Maybe.
Yeah, she thinks she is, but has even.
You know
just
what?
kinda behind her.
I will kind of crouch down, but a little bit like I am not focused on my usual stealthiness and seem very distracted by my own thoughts.
She's walking really
Whisper?
quietly, but she's walking really quietly, but going shh, all the way there.
she's going,
No, I'm
boing,
walking real
boing,
quietly, but I'm sitting there
boing.
grumbling to myself. Just
She's still going on about it.
So, Fort Wotton comes into sight eventually.
Warden?
Wooden.
What?
Again, to show and to describe, it is not raining like it is in this art.
Don't you have proper art then, or why don't you just make it rain?
Yeah, but I always do. But it is.
I know you do, baby. You do.
It is sunny. It is a hot, almost stifling summer's evening. As you approach the fort, you absolutely see that there, just by the blood and the freshness of it all, that there are 2 figures impaled outside on large wooden posts outside of the gate.
Do we recognize them?
All of you make me a perception check. DC
Deception or perception?
perception. I'm gonna say DC 18.
Yeah, my thing isn't working right now. Sorry. So that's a 10 plus. Not enough. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The figures are all caked, or both caked very much in blood. They do it properly here. It is a spike up the nethers, out through the mouth sort of thing. So they are very, very contorted and difficult, impossible to recognise. But yeah, you see 2 figures. But, got another roll coming on. What's happening here? He's trying to perceive again.
I was just trying to test it out.
You failed miserably.
So yeah, to outside you see the gates are closed. There are 2 wooden sort of palisade towers. Let me swap to the actual Fort Wotton map. Yeah, so to zoom in, you see there are a couple of figures looking over from the towers, and yeah, one of these figures is impaled either side of the gate. You can see there's like, I don't know, like an impalement equivalent of like gallows. What's the gallows platform called again? It's a
Gallows.
Yeah.
I thought the platform had a different name, and the gallows was the actual hanging apparatus. Okay. Anyway, yeah, like just two separate, clear impalement stations either side. One of these figures on each, and yeah, the guards look down at you all from afar as you're approaching. It's like, who approaches?
Hazim of Fort Watton, I guess.
Ah, where is Ludwig? You carry? Is that it? My gods, Ludwig, what happened to you?
There's someone different, but same kind of deal. He had an unfortunate ending, and I take out his head.
Okay. Just throw it into the trees.
You do not need proof, I suppose. And I won't throw it. I kind of like go over to the edge of the road and just put it in there and thank you for your help. And I'll walk back over.
Kiss it on the lips before you leave.
What?
I'll say, we have got a live one here. It's quite interesting. I don't know if we're allowed to bring it into the fort. It's got no arms or legs, literally gagged, can't go anywhere.
We want
Alive.
to speak with Arena and the captain.
Alive who? You found someone else out there?
No, it was,
Somewhat.
yeah, it's one of the undead. But it has something of interest.
But have you been bitten?
No.
Will you please allow us in so that we may speak to those we need to?
No, you're not bringing one in. You
We'll
hear
bring the
you
captain
hear
and
the-
Arena out.
you hear almost like incredulous laughter. It's like, yes, we will, but of course you're not bringing one in. Wait there. Well, one of you can come in and fetch him if you want.
Do we want one of that? Out of character?
I'll come in and I start walking in with the thing on his back.
Vanessa will actually look to whisper when he says that.
I
I can go
believe
if you want to.
that we should just wait for them here.
All right. Fair enough.
Okay. A disgruntled guard. You hear mutter something about up and down the ladder all fucking day. But you eventually hear tick, 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 and heads off. The other guard who stayed there, just sort of holding his spear, looking down at you all. Props the spear on the wooden thing. So did you find anything? Is it true? Was there anything out there?
I think it's inappropriate to talk to you before we talk to our superiors, yes? But yes, we
Yes,
found
okay.
something. We found
Oh.
something.
What you...
I kind of like give him a little thumbs up. You know, don't want to estrange myself from the common guard, but
Okay, is there many out there?
Yes.
Enough to kill Ludwig.
it was unfortunate. We were set upon by over a dozen. Had some
You
help
know what?
though.
Are there any? Oh, go on.
Yeah, I
All-
think
all
we're all
three
about
of
to
us.
ask the same question. Do you know a knight that makes
Yeah. Go on, Azim.
Yeah. There was a knight. He was mounted, well dressed, had feathered helmet. There was not.
Gondagal.
One moment, let me get my notes out. And I'll kind of like step closer to the wall, like kind of looking directly up at him as he's kind of like leaning over. I'm like, who is this Gundagal?
Oh, shit. Gondegal. He tries...
Unless you're going to spell it out, it doesn't matter.
He spells it out. He goes...
Gonda. Okay, I'll take that.
He tries to sway people away from order, lose them with promises of a better way and a better life. But those who follow him and betray Drakov and follow him into those woods, never seen or heard from again. He'll feed promises of leading them to a new land, to a safer place, and, well, he clearly kills them.
No one thought to warn us of this before venturing out.
You would have thought you saw Gondagal on your first trip out. I've only seen him once, and that was about 400 feet away.
What evidence do you have that he kills the people he convinces to come with him?
They are never seen again, and they don't turn up anywhere else.
Perhaps
Well,
he
you
gets
said that-
into a safe land.
Yes, into what? Into the mists, where all the dead wait. He is a
Where he
spirit.
came from?
Is there a place that he resides that we should avoid?
No, he turns up anywhere. He is an apparition, I think.
I mean, we have seen him. We've literally just told you about him, and we had no idea about this. So, perhaps something different. But is there a place that people see him more often, or something that brings him forth?
Bringing forth fresh meat. One of you was obviously having a bit of a crisis of faith, or a bit of self-doubt, or was speaking out against Drakov, and this is when he appears. To lead
I say.
to lead people astray.
Makes sense to me.
Why did he appear when you saw him then? Were you with people who doubt Drakov? Do you doubt Drakov?
I don't doubt Drakov. We were tracking people. Tracking brigands near Silvervass.
Near what?
Silverbass. You've heard this town was mentioned in passing previously as the ruins of a town that you have to pass through to get to
yeah.
Lekar, and it's kind of overtaken by kind of like, not homeless, but like in the ruined sort of factions.
How far away is Silverbass from here?
But a day's trek to the north, on the
On
south.
foot?
On foot, yes.
Or by horse?
It's on the south. Blood. Talons. Talons get horses. Chosen get horses. You and I get blisters. But
I agree with that.
you'd travel north from here. Up to the south road, onto Silverlass. If you keep going straight, but eventually lead you north up to Lekar. To take it right, goes across the Typhlands, all the way above the Southwood, around to where Aerie used to be, and further up to the mountains.
Seems a long way for him to travel if he comes from that area, so perhaps you're right, perhaps an apparition. Are there others that have seen him?
But second part, sorry, say again?
Are there others that have seen him?
Many, yes. A fair few people have seen him over the years. Well, the last couple of years.
Has anybody seen him more than once?
That, I don't know. You could ask around, just be careful be sure to make it clear that you are not speaking ill of Drakov.
Of course.
He sort of looks back over his shoulder for a moment. Like, you've got company.
Thank you. What is your name?
Calcet.
Thank you, Calcet.
Oh, I meant to do something last week and I forgot to. Hey, I had set up. Oh, something has gone wrong here. One moment. I had set up in my. I'd planned to set up so that the next time I shared Irina's art, it played that Taylor Swift thing from the TikTok for Whisper. But yeah, the gates open and Irina comes out, slightly less armoured than the first couple of times you've seen her. So just sort of leans out the gate and comes out rather slowly. A bit like, they say you have brought the dead. Why on earth would you do such a thing?
Because this is no ordinary dead.
Ludwig's dead then, I take it?
His head is over there.
A shame. What is special about this? And just strolls over him, but there he doesn't like sort of directly come over there, just sort of backs and forths a little bit. As she comes over, just sort of curiosity, walks widely around, gets close, gets fairly close to the gagged zombie.
I will kind of say, I'm kind of facing away now. I say, like looking over my shoulder. I do not know whether this is the kind of thing you want to be revealed in front of the common guard folk. It is fine if it is, but it is worth us checking first. It is not of small significance.
She raises an eyebrow and just looks up to the guard tower. Fuck off. And the guard just like... And you're like... In a moment, she's like... There are 12 rungs! And then like a couple more footsteps and just like spits for a moment. And go on.
Okay, well, no one else is speaking and I'm not facing it. I'm like, so, basically...
Vanessa will just very carefully start to unravel the gag that's wrapped around its mouth.
It seems that this one is able to communicate with the other undead and also understands our words. We had something of a one-way conversation. We could ask it questions and it would nod and shake its head, but it could not seem to speak the common tongue, but definitely understood it. It was giving orders to the others.
How is it giving orders if you said it couldn't speak? It
It could not speak the common tongue,
speak our language.
but it was speaking a language that they understood. It was telling them when to attack, when to move back. I believe at one point it was trying to cry for help to summon others. There are other signs of intelligence that are just speculation at this point.
What did it sound like?
See for yourself. Speak. And Vanessa just kind of swats the zombie on his cheekbone, I guess.
Yeah, it tries to snap. But you know, after you've done it, it's reactive. Yeah, you don't put your hand in its mouth. Yeah, it's very much. And there's like just a and just like these are just got, and then like it makes a few more, and you see it be like, I see.
We are not fools. We know the difference between
Yes, but for a moment, yes, shut up, okay. For a moment, it sounded like it was.
Fucking move back a little bit, bitch.
What, you run towards her. For a moment, I thought it was just the gas, but shit. Okay.
It had a messenger bag and made out of human skin. There is a face within the stitching. It had some old rabbit, putrefied, fresh acorns seemingly, and a bird that I had shot down but the day before, uneaten, but collected.
Why do you shoot a bird down if not to eat it?
Oh, we sort of ate it. But
Well,
nevertheless,
GM, can I vibe check her reaction to all of this?
Yeah, absolutely.
You've done it. Respond.
Oh wow! I just saw that. Yeah, so 2 minutes ago.
yes.
She wasn't taking this too seriously at first. It's hardly rattled her. You absolutely don't get the sense that, like, oh no, this is something she already knew and she's trying to hide it. She is just like, it's hard to find something that she doesn't seem to be on some level find a little bit farcical. She's always got that kind of sarcastic amusement to it, but you can tell she's definitely interested.
The bag indicates some sort of understanding of construction, creativity, which, insofar as we know and have experienced ourselves, has not been the case for most of these creatures. The collection that was inside of the bag, we speculate, might be either foraging or trinkets or even means to hunt.
I believe
Either way, though.
she was tracking us.
Either way, though.
She leans towards it a bit. It's you fancy yourself a smart one? Yeah? She leans a little bit closer to it, and there's a moment where it just round the throat and just like sort of pushes it back in towards your pack a little bit. It's like, not smart enough. This is it. Speak.
We believe that this is an important discovery, and I mean no offense to this, but Fort Blot is not the place to investigate, to understand what this all means. I would request that we bring this to someone such as the doctor, whose last name I forget. His last name, Pietra. To Dr. Pietra in Wafenzi, or even to Drakov's court itself.
Hey,
It's a place that has
yes, you won't get this
resources.
into Lekka, but I think Morfenzi is. Morfenzi may certainly be on your agenda soon, once the captain sees this.
What language is it speaking?
How the fuck should I know? I don't recognize those words. Some guttural shit.
We are not from Falkovnia. We do not know if there are other lesser tongues.
Alright. No. Everybody speaks a few of the underhanded rabble, the fences, come up with their own little ways sometimes. But we always found the normal tongue with the right pressure applied. But no, this, I haven't a clue what this is. You should show the captain.
Leave it out here? I don't think it is going to go anywhere.
Vanessa, hold its head.
Yes, hold its head.
And she pulls her axe and just flips it round to its pommel first. And you can see she looked posed to just bash her teeth in. Unless anyone's going to try and intervene.
I will, if I can see it, I will kind of like turn my back away.
Like turn it so that she can't do it, or
Yeah. Like I kind of like spin around so that she doesn't do it. Like
It's not coming in with teeth.
I'll pop a flame in my hand via druidcraft and just hold it in my hand, looking at her. Please do not do that.
anything that might injure its mouth might make it difficult to talk, and I have managed to carry it for nearly a day without being bit. I think a gag will suffice. Surely we are not so afraid in Fort Watton that an armless and legless zombie is going to be able to do anything.
I would snuff that out if I were you.
I say it
I
plain.
would set that down if I were you.
She will step closer to whisper.
I'll make the flame grow brighter.
Stop.
You think I haven't been burnt before?
Bloody hell. Stop. Both of you. We are guests in this fort, and I know from some of my own experiences that
Wait, you just muted.
creatures like this, the dead, do not need teeth to speak.
But the way that they were going to be knocked out did not look like it was necessarily with precision.
We are guests
That is
here,
fair.
sent
That
on
is
a
fair.
project, and we have returned with something. I would not have this one, angry like a dog, damage it.
Irina, would you agree to us dismantling this creature further, getting the teeth out ourselves?
It is not going to go anywhere. If I keep it on my back, then it is only me that is at risk. If I get bit, then I end up on a spike or worse.
And she sort of just, not even quite committing to a side eye. Sort of, do what the fuck you want with it, and steps closer to her, to whisper again.
I'll stand my ground.
I won't tell you to snuff it again. You might have tricks, but if I have to tell you one more time to snuff it, I'll kill you right here.
Whisper.
I want
Good job.
assurances you will not damage it.
I didn't ever before damage it.
I want assurances you will not damage it.
I won't, but if I have to say it again, I'll damage you.
Yeah, I'll snuff it out.
Good girl. And just turns back to the others. Go on. Do your do what you will with it then, and then we head in. I would say, Vanessa, I think you would notice, but she seems almost a little put out. Not in like the she's been cowed way, but that she's just been denied something that
Just
she
looking
was
forward to
excited
smashing
about.
some teeth out.
Yeah, or a fight.
Yeah.
Before,
I didn't say whose teeth.
Before you
Exactly,
do,
yeah.
before you do, how did you subdue this thing?
Fought it.
Tell me about it. Tell me how it went.
Found a group of them eating on an elk. And we saw that it was able to communicate, and we thought it was too important to Fort Watton and Falkovnia to leave. And so the three of us and Ludwig decided it was worth the risk for us to try and capture it. And we fought.
But get to the details. Give me the blow by blow.
Well, there was there's an elk, as Eamon mentioned.
You took its limbs.
The final,
Clearly.
the final blow.
You took its limbs.
From when we came from beyond the mists. I had a potion with me that was. I don't know if you have acid, things that burn here, not like fire, but more ingredients that helped to melt it. Unfortunately, I do not have any more. But
This is what, and you see like she reaches out of the axe and just taps
Oh yeah.
A few of you melted off, like sloughed off areas. This is what I was leading to. I thought you had... I'm disappointed, Whisper. I thought you had more tricks. What would it
No
be?
more tricks.
Okay. Do what you will to it, and then we'll go in.
And I look at Whisper and I look at Vanessa and I say, a gag has sufficed to this point. I think a gag should be enough from now.
They're not going to let it in with teeth.
Very well. We can gag it again. Whisper, you do it.
I'll head over and do that.
Very good. Let's go. And she will...
Yes, there.
What's it, Vanessa?
Oh no, nothing.
And she just sort of...
Confused for a moment.
And she just calls for the gate to be opened. And it cracks back open a bit. And you're able to pass back into the fort.
Do we have anything that we want to maybe like drape over this thing so that people don't freak out?
I'm assuming she would if she was that bothered, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
You can see from the glances.
I mean,
that you
there is a
catch-
hood. There is a hood, and I think I could literally like kind of like flap it
reverse
over
hood.
its
So
head.
it's just this. Hey,
hood.
why is he transporting that torso?
yeah.
You can see
And the
that.
backpack.
You can see that Arena is clearly enjoying when people do notice. She's enjoying the back to your business, back to your business. Keep your eyes elsewhere. And leads you through the fort over towards the guardhouse. On your way past the barracks, as you pass the barracks, you get to the statue of Drakov at the end, and you see Drakov, a statue of Drakov for the second time today. This one much newer and well maintained, in like a different pose, but undeniably still the same figure. You notice there are about 10 guards clustered around the fence and the farmhouse. And Irina just sort of looks over to them and is like, disperse! Get back to your business. Come on, it's over now.
I presume the two that are fleshly adorned on your spikes, they've tried to steal food?
They, what's sorry?
Tried to steal food.
No, it's a chance to be a fine thing. They're just shit at protecting it.
Something else has taken it.
Yes, we had pigs going missing, and they were on their last chance, and last night another sow was taken. If they can't protect the livestock, they can't feed the fort, we have no use for them. So there were 4 farmers. Now the 2 who are here will work more than twice as hard and find out what's been taking them.
There
Well,
are no tracks.
yeah, very, very easy. It's not as interesting a story as what we're doing here. There is some large beast that clambers and scratches its way over the walls. No matter how many we post and how often, it is huge. A huge thing that comes over, great, shaggy like a bear, but it leaves
But you've seen
raking.
it.
It leaves raking. This is description. It leaves raking claws, a huge beaked maw, and it takes them whole, lifts them up and scours its way back over the fence. You can see there's plenty
Did
of
she just describe an owl bear?
yeah.
Okay.
There's been enough claw marks on the fences if you want to see. But it has a sow was taken last night, and we thought it was mundane, but it seems to have some sort of magical. I would say magical, but that's not a word here. Some strange secretion we weren't aware of. This time it left a bile of sorts in the field where it took the pig we investigated today. There's a bit of blood, of course, but then there was a foul fluid, much like your vial, that burned and irritated the skin of the farmers. So this beast is exuding something, it seems.
You have not tried tracking such a creature back to its lair. It seems quite large.
It is quite large, but what you probably can't tell unless you had, a bird's eye view above is on the other side of this fence. It's straight into water. The river flows by. So whatever it is, although it is a great hairy feathered beast, it comes from the water. Makes tracking a bit difficult. We scoured up and down the shoreline a couple of times, but to no avail. They say it is headed west across the river into the woodlands near the mountains, but if the farmers sort their shit out and start doing their jobs, which they need to now, or we'll just be eating potatoes soon enough, but if it makes a point, it makes a point. Or we kill it and we have steak. I am very sick of pork.
It seems the number of people you have, is it not excessive to kill 2 farmers when one would do the same, send the same message?
No, because if they fuck up again, they know it's both of them. If it's just one of them, each one will fancy his chances. Now they know.
No farmers.
Please. I sent for more this morning. We'll be here tomorrow.
When should we expect the captain?
Yeah, I imagine this conversation probably lingered for a minute and then carried on its way, perhaps. Unless anyone wants to... Does anyone want to investigate or go over and approach and look at any of this farm business?
Is there somebody stood near the fence that has like a yellow question mark above their head?
Hey, you make the question marks where you go if you want it.
Does the description based on it seem out of the ordinary for what any of us would know about owlbear behavior? Like
all
being
of you
aquatic.
make me nature checks. If any of you feel like you would have particular experience or encounters with owlbears, you can do so with advantage.
I might. Who knows?
I've been around enough.
Nope.
I would say Hazim. Yeah, you have encountered a couple on the... Oh, what's the road called again? It's gone from my mind. On the trail.
Kingsway.
Yes. Sure.
That's it!
yeah. You would know that they've been seen in rivers. They quite often... You know that there are... you've heard that up in the Dale, there's snowy owlbears that will just fish for knucklehead salmon, trout in the rivers and the fjords. You've never ever heard of owlbears like exuding or expelling acid or like corrosive fluids. This is very new information, or rather, never heard before information.
I will kind of loop to the group and say, sounds something like a typical owl bear, but I have never heard about these secretions from the ones that I've encountered or read about.
Are we sure? And I will say this kind of quietly. Are we sure this is an animal and not signs of a new infection, a new sickness?
Who knows in this place? The things that we do know from where we are from have enough relevance to keep us informed, but also probably enough relevance and irrelevance that we will become misguided and presume too much. We could quite easily go up against a foe feeling like we know what we are facing and then be very quickly surprised. Let us always keep in mind that the things that we find here are likely to be very different from those back home.
True. Well, the other thing about that is that if we don't find the captain's reaction to our find, and Vanessa looks at the zombie on Hazim's back, if he does not react favorably, then I don't really think that's much of an issue for us. If they want help, we give it to them, and if they help us, we give them help. But if not...
You're saying you have these beasts back in where you were before?
Variants of, yes. Quite common, definitely feared, but...
Feared?
They are very dangerous.
How many to kill one?
It depends on the person. For me, I could kill one on my own. But for others, it may take 10 men.
You would kill one on your own?
Of course. I am Hazim.
Vanessa rolls her eyes.
Maybe you and I should go tracking after all then. You can show me.
Just say, I'm happy to go with you.
Perhaps in the morning then.
Ooh.
Perhaps, if there are not other pressing engagements that we are put to task. Tracking for sport or for looking for this creature.
To safeguard the food supply of Fort Watton.
And we both look at each other, knowing otherwise, and I kind of still give a bit of a nod. I know she's a bloodluster.
The captain. And you see Captain August coming out of the guardhouse because you hear him muttering something about not finding an appropriate map for the interior of that building yet. And he comes over, just sort of fixing his sash on his arm. He has his sword is out, but he's hanging it down near the side. He's very guard down with it. And he comes over. They say you brought one of them inside my walls, but for good reason, it would seem.
I mean, it was not... Is he speaking to us directly?
Yeah. He's just calling over as you approach.
It was not us that brought it in. We do not have such permission, but we were granted it. But yes, we have one of the undead.
This is what you found in the ruins of a guardhouse.
No. We found very little. This was outside.
Yes, this was... There was a group of them off the path. They had been feasting on an elk, and, well, I don't know how much you know, but we believe that this one is capable of communication. And maybe even coherent thought. Semi-coherent, anyway.
And there was nothing of interest in my guardhouse.
No, unfortunately. I think whatever you had hoped to find there must have either been taken or rotted away.
Although we do not necessarily know what it was you were looking for, we were simply sent on an errand.
There was an oft-whispered rumour of supplies and useful tools for our endeavours, long forgotten by time. Vanessa, do you feel you need to make a deception check?
I mean, for the most part, everything was forgotten by time, wasn't it?
But you said you found nothing of interest.
Do you feel
you found a statue and
yeah,
the alchemist fire?
I would say that's a sufficient omission that I
With
would
advantage?
expect
All right, I mean, I
a.
could do it.
With advantage.
I'll do it.
Also, I asked this in chat, but like,
Oh, sorry.
did we discuss whether we were sharing that journal we found?
Oh no.
You
But
did
well, even
not
if you had
discuss.
wanted to, Vanessa would not.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm keeping quiet about it.
Yes, just I had hoped for. I had hoped beyond hope, but never mind. Let's settle for this then. A chatty ghoul.
You have heard them speak before?
No,
Then I would have presumed this is just as important or perhaps as interesting, no?
it would depend on what it has to say.
Very little that we understand, but it does understand us. It can answer questions if they are simple, but it does seem to lose its attention quite frequently. Perhaps if it had food, its mind might be more rested.
Yeah, I
Another
can think
point
of.
of note is that this creature was found with a bag made of skin, human skin, and
I presume at this point we've kind of taken it off it and we've got it, so we can kind of like show it.
Yeah.
Maybe?
this is not making things like this. This kind of craftsmanship is not indicative of most species of lower intelligence. This is
It's
conscious.
hideous, but I get what you're saying. It
Yes.
would require a certain mind, a certain nimbleness of the fingers.
Much
that
as what it said,
Is that
we did not
stitched? It's fucking stitched, isn't it?
Yes.
we did not understand.
Now be picking
Any of
up
what it
weapons
said.
next. Fucking.
It said
What
one
did
word.
he just say?
What did you say?
He said it would be picking up fucking weapons next. I
Okay.
was saying.
It wasn't like loud enough for me to hear, so I was like,
Yeah,
hey.
he did a mumble to himself. We did not understand any of the words it said apart from one. We were asking whether it was from Falkovnia or whether it was from nearby, and it said quite distinctively, it said home.
I tell you, every instinct I have is to cleave this thing right here. But I dare say this has been a well-informed, a well-judged decision.
Not one that we made on our own. We did, of course, ask Ludwig, who unfortunately did not make the rest of the journey.
That's a shame. Yes, well, good that he had the sense to agree to it.
He also mentioned on our journeys someone that is not necessarily mentioned too much within the fort, Dr. Pietra. We were thinking that perhaps a trip to Mothenzi with this creature might bring more answers than what the likes of us are likely to be able to get from it. He is more experienced dealing with the undead and his practices, is he not?
He is, but forgive me, he's never held a blade that wasn't in his laboratory a day in his life. It could be possible. It could be done.
Your
What we
battle
need here
against. I was about to speak, and then I actually think second of it anyway, and I step back and let Vanessa fill that silence.
What we need here is not a warrior's blade. We need the mind of someone who can extract something from us, perhaps even understand it and with all due respect, it's not here. Unless you have someone who has an understanding of the arcane of the undead, I think that it would be best for us to escort this creature to Morfenzi.
I see his face, and arcane as in the things that Whisper can do.
Ah,
Precisely.
your god. Frith.
Yes.
I'll think on
Yeah.
it. I'll speak to Drakov. I'll see what she says. Until then... What?
Falcons do a fantastic job about keeping the wolf from the door. They protect all of Falkovnia. But I feel perhaps it needs other methods to try and remove the wolf entirely.
Entirely? What the fucking thought that would be. I will see what Drakov commands. For now, we have but one cell. Funnily enough, it freed up a couple of hours ago. We'll put it in there.
And we have your assurance that nothing will happen to it. Not that we don't trust you, of course. We just want to make sure that we're able to transport this thing in such a way that it doesn't distract or harm or... I'm struggling with my words.
We have seen
It will
that
not
both-
be damaged.
Thank you.
Yes.
Damage was actually the word that I was looking for. Thank you.
We have seen that both yourself and the captain here, your first impulse is to cleave this thing in two. We would like to try and make sure that that does not happen.
There is clearly something larger here. I give you no assurance. I owe you no promises. But I tell you, I will put it in a cell. I will not harm it.
If you give
And
us no
anyone who d-
assurances,
I am
And
not
owe us
finished
nothing.
speaking. I am putting this in a cell. I will not harm it. Anyone who does is disobeying me, and that leads to one place. And he points not to the entrance gates, but slightly above the entrance gates. No one here will head to my floor of the keep, go into my cell, and kill my prisoner. Kill. You know what I mean.
Yes, thank you,
Damage.
Captain.
Damage. Or if they do,
Not even
it will
her.
be the last thing they'd... He sort of looks to Irina, and she laughs. And she's like, I have no desire to find myself on a spike. Don't mind, Whisper is turning into more of a grumble. I'm sure it'll be fine.
She's probably very hungry. It's been a long day. Should get her a Snickers bar.
You should get yourselves to the Bloody Pecker. A good day's work is a good meal and a few drinks.
That sounds most welcoming. Perhaps a song from Kayed.
Perhaps, what's that?
A song from Kayed. The sun. Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, maybe. He does it both most nights.
Would you like me to escort this creature to the cells, or?
Yes, of course. The other two of you, you dismissed.
And I turn to them and I just give a nod to Vanessa, and a look to Whisper, and I kind of step forward and I say, we've only had guarantees that it will be safe in the cell, but you have my guarantee that I will get her to the cell unharmed. We're doing what we can for everybody. This is not the ideal situation, but it's the one that we have. Okay.
Whisper will do just a nod and then turn to walk off towards the Bloody Pecker.
Okay. And we have the opportunity for a slightly longer session tonight, and I believe it's a follow-up show. So we have 1 more hour of show left on this longer session. So we are just going to take a 10-minute break now to stretch our legs again. And then we will be back. So we will be back in another 10 minutes. Hello, we're back. So you split up. Hazim, there's no map for it yet. I've not found a layout of the map I'm happy about. I'm just waiting for modular strongholds and forts to come out. But you are led into... You're beyond the sort of armory courtyard you were at previously. Almost every guard turning and looking, though, not saying anything as you're being escorted by Captain August. You are led up a floor. And there is, next to... a sort of open plan area that is clearly like an officer's quarter for Captain August. You see there is a stone corridor that just ends in a single cell. And there is like a cell door and there's the further like just barred door a bit further down the corridor in case someone were to get up the cell. Both are currently open. He would just stand, he'd just sort of like loiter outside of his quarters watching down the corridor as 2 of the guards walk with you and just sort of help you a little bit at bring it down and just rather unceremoniously just prop it against the wall of the cell.
No. Is right. Is there anything in this cell or is it completely empty?
Just stone. It is stone. Not even like manacles or restraints. It is just a stone end of a corridor.
Okay. Yeah. All right then. I'll just make sure that it's laying on its back, so it's face up.
Okay. Yeah. And they lock the cell. You walk a little down the corridor with them. They also lock the next gate. I presume you left it gagged.
Yes. I would do, because it's just going to start shouting like a motherfucker anyway, so... I think there would have been a moment where I probably paused and thought, you know, I know that Whisper would ungag it, but I'm not going to. Because I don't want it to get... I don't want to piss people off that they come in and kick it in. So I'm gonna leave it gagged for now.
Okay.
Presuming it's still able to breathe and everything, you know, there's no problem with it.
Yeah, it doesn't need
If it
to.
even does, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. We're all acting like this thing's alive all of a sudden. So, yeah. If it seems like the gag in its mouth isn't necessarily, yeah, I'm leaving it gagged.
Okay.
Long story short.
Yeah. So yeah, it is locked in its cell. The corridor is locked, and you have to sort of pass. You have to pass Captain August as you leave and say, "I'll walk with you away."
No, thank you. An honor, I'm sure. I give him a slight smile. So you've never seen anything like this before?
No, never. But admittedly, the circumstances by which we come across them is not one that lends itself much to the art of conversation. They're normally hammering doors down, trying to spill over barricades, or us coming across them in the woods and trying to strike first and strike fast.
I imagine there are plenty of times that you have been wandering through the forests and you have tried to avoid them.
Yeah, we typically try to travel. Depends on the nature of our mission. If it is experience, we'll march or ride. Occasionally, particularly around the middle of the month, we will travel slow, loud, in large groups. Yes. Tidy up before the new moon rolls round.
But still, even under the circumstances that you typically kill them, this stands out, does it not? You would have thought you would have heard something at some point. Sometimes.
Just the typical guttural moans and wheezes is what we hear. For this thing to be making words, even words mostly unknown, is very, very strange. Definitely unprecedented. Definitely one that I imagine, I could be wrong, it is not for me to decide, it is for Drakov, a decision of this significance, but I would imagine it will be taken to Mofenzi.
To allow us to take it ourselves? That may be interesting how Whisper may be able to interact with it.
I do not know if I would permit that. I do not know if you and Whisper would want the doctor to have an interest in her.
If we are under your protection, surely we would be okay.
Not all rules apply to the doctor. Why is Whisper not so satisfied?
Just me as a player, it's like, yes, I saw this coming.
Would you advise against it? For her to go there?
If she is commanded to go there by Drakov, she will go there. So my own advice isn't particularly relevant. I'm just telling you that if you do go there, and if the doctor knows about these gifts given to her by her son god, he will be interested in her. He will be interested in you. You do not look like anything we've seen here. But beyond your looks, you don't seem to, forgive me, be interesting, if you take my meaning, in the same way that she is. Unless you have some hidden abilities.
I wear myself quite plain.
And the other companion seems to be... How has she survived with you?
She's very gifted with a crossbow. She's made many kills on our travels.
I will make a note of that the next time the parapets are understaffed.
I think she would appreciate being at a distance. She's not necessarily one for being up in the midst of it. Unlike myself, of course.
Remind me, does Vanessa even carry a melee weapon?
No.
She has a dagger.
The dagger. Yeah,
That was one that was limited, right?
I imagine a dagger is a thing that doesn't even get counted. I imagine like even
I
fish
feel like
are-
too. It's just like it's like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, in this day and age. Very well. This is good information to have. If Drakov sends you to Mofenzi you'll go. Perhaps try to keep the interesting aspects of yourself hidden.
But if we are instructed to go to Mofenzi by Drakov, presumably it will be quite simply because of Whisper's abilities.
Yes.
You have seen what she can do, perhaps not even to the full extent. I myself have not traveled with her for that long. I believe she is very gifted, but is that something that Drakov would chance being in the hands of the doctor?
I would not be privy to the inner workings of Drakov's tactical mind.
But you have known her for a long time, yes?
Yes.
How long have you known Drakov?
Some 15 years.
How long has she ruled you?
Around, I think a few years shorter than that. When I took my rank,
I am sure that The years and the full moons, they all mix together. It is hard to keep track, no doubt.
Yes. Yes, of course. But yes, if your symptom offensive, then no. It's been a long day.
For all of us. But thank you for granting not permission or anything like that, but your word that the creature will be at least unharmed while she is under your care. I know there are no promises, but a word from someone such as yourself is good enough for us. Whisper she is good of heart, and some semblance of intelligence in this creature. I think she perhaps finds it hard to separate from what the creature really is. I do not doubt her loyalty to the living or to the cause that you have in Falkovnia by any means. But clearly what we have found here is different.
Time will tell. There is still a good amount of time before we must begin the cleansing, so time now to investigate opportunities such as these.
The cleansing?
Yes, as I told you before, we lure the straggling remnants out and prepare for the new moon.
Of course. Ultimately, if it looks like a dog and bites like a dog, it is a dog.
Or a fox. And he sort of laughs at him, then very seriously puts a hand on your shoulder and sort of pulls you a little bit in towards him. Ludwig was a good man. Did you burn him?
We did not have time. We took the creature and we had to move quickly. But I took his head.
To be fair, you would have seen me burn him.
Oh, did you burn him?
Sacred flame.
That's how he died. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then, yes, we burned him and I brought his head as well. It is by the roadside. Just to confirm that he was dead. We are unknowns to this place, so it was clear that he had been bitten and turned. But he was a good man, you are right.
A shame.
I look at him and, as we both say it, go. Just give him a
Jinx.
nod.
Jinx.
No, you jinx him. Punch him in the arm. Jinx! Well, thank you for answering the questions I have, General. It has been appreciated.
You're going to the Pecker.
I believe so. I think our group has earned some respect.
You can tell his brother.
Hmm?
Ludwig's brother. Tell him he's dead.
What is his brother's name?
Keltisk.
Eltusk. Is there any way that I should approach it, or
Just tell him.
no subtext?
Just tell him he died in service to Drakov.
Very well.
He'll want to know. I believe their mother is still alive. You'll want to inform her.
What do you say? It's Keltusk?
Keltisk.
His mother is in town as well, yes?
His what?
His mother is in town?
She's in Lekar. She's an old lady now. Face him in her day, but more useful back in Lekar now.
We all have our uses, and we are all put where we will use them best, I'm sure.
And you've got to like the doors of the guardhouse now, and he just sort of looks out into the now night and just gives you a nod. And
Have I seen like soldiers greeting or shaking hands or anything like when they leave each other in any particular way?
Yeah, there's a very rudimentary salute, sort of hand on the chest sort of salute, bit Roman style.
then I will offer up that same
He seems
salutation.
a little amused, a little impressed, and just doesn't return it. But you get the impression from what you've seen people saluting him. It's obviously not an expectation that the ranking officer does it back.
Yeah.
And he just turns and heads back in. While this has gone on, after you parted ways, what did Vanessa and Whisper do?
I believe that we were. I don't know time frame, but we would have started walking for the pecker, right?
Yeah, you would have started ahead of her, ahead of Vanessa.
Yeah.
But eventually, yeah, Vanessa would have wandered on over.
What did Vanessa do instead?
Well, she was talking with Hazim, with the captain. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I turned and started walking first.
Of course, yeah. As Irina would have gone into the keep as well. So, yeah, Whisper. If Vanessa catches up to Whisper eventually, anything you're saying to each other on your way over to the pecker? Any pit stops you're making? Or are you just heading straight there?
Me?
To both of you.
Oh, yeah. I would just be heading straight there, I think. I would take a quick look at the pig pen, just to give it a little bit of a once-over as far as seeing, like, the tracks or the weird bottle.
Yeah, so there are a few guards sort of hanging around nearby. One was like, "Gonna help you, love?"
I just heard that there was some attack here, a theft. Just wanted to make sure everything was okay.
Oh yeah, it's quite safe now. Don't you worry about it. You're one of the newcomers, yes?
Yes.
Don't worry. I'll be on these walls most of the night. You can sleep soundly tonight. Sleep safely, trust me.
Who was on shift when they were taken?
Nobody. The responsibility was put back onto the farmers for failing to prevent the previous theft. The things used to dig under the wall, under the fence. They reinforced it, went over. Mikhail said that he was down near the gatehouse, heard a huge clamouring and crashing, came sprinting down the parapet here, but by the time he got here, he just saw a big shaggy arse heading back over the wall. It was in and out like that.
Vanessa's kind of been half paying attention, but has been keeping her eye on the scene, so to speak. Can I do like a quick investigation to see if I see anything?
Yeah. Is it just like from a distance from the edge of the pen, or you?
Yeah. You know, I'm curious. Nope.
Yeah, you look around, and you can see a lot of people have trudged around here. I mean, it is even in the dark. It's not full night yet. There's some torches around and sconces. You can see huge claw marks in sets on the fence. Clearly, something has like raked and dragged itself over here, and it's left huge gouges in the wood. Enough of them that you can tell it was definitely a quadruped. How it got over. You can see enough depressions from here that there clearly would have been tracks this morning, but a lot of people have been trudging around in here since, and quite possibly pigs also. You also see that unmistakable sort of, I don't know if hollow is the right word, but where all this bile has been exuded, the soil and like the mud of the pen just sinks down even further still, like it's just sunken and compressed with this, whatever this
Yeah, so there's no actual like bile. It's just the effect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say with the one, she's also at half health, and so she's a little bit out of it. And
Yeah.
just is kind of driving on her curious nature as opposed to actually really actively investigating. But she'll slap the top of the fence. Well, thank you. Have a good night. And she'll head to the Bloody Pecker.
Okay. Yeah. So, the Pecker is... Where are we? Oh, that's the map I was originally going to use for Pecker before we actually got a map going. But yeah, you arrive at the Bloody Pecker. It is a similar sort of number of patrons to previous night. Let me just sort that out a little bit.
Were you getting there at a roughly similar time? My conversation and travelling with Vanessa's?
Yeah, I just Whisper would have been there a few minutes earlier. Is there anything that Whisper would want to do by herself when she's there, or are you happy for the four to... Did Whisper
I
have
mean,
any...
everyone's still around, right?
Yeah, very much so.
I mean, if Vanessa's looking closely, like, Whisper's hands are, like, definitely shaking. And she's a little twitchier than normal, but, like, she's, other than that, showing no signs of any, stress or saying anything, just staying quiet.
Where is she at in the bar? Is she, like, back in the
I mean,
stairs,
I
or she
would have, if you
upstairs?
stopped at the fence, I would have, like, stopped and turned and waited and walked
You would have
with
probably
you.
already been gone, though, because I
Oh,
that was
yeah,
after
well,
the
then
entire
I would have
session.
definitely, like, gone in and just found some corner.
Okay, well let's load onto the Pecker.
Okay.
Yes, let's load on to the Pecker.
Yeah.
So,
Bloody Pecker!
so let's get you in there. So, do you want to say that you were you'd sort of got somewhere like similar to this, Whisper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Would Vanessa have gone and joined you at that table? Did you say?
Vanessa would have walked in and first looked at the bar to see who was manning the bar.
Is his name's Karama, but you decide his
Dennis.
name's Dennis. It's Dennis.
How is he looking?
Stressed. He's been doing both jobs tonight. He's sort of serving drinks and cleaning. You've got to be wiping the bar down, obviously. But you see occasionally he also just turn and like dart back in, and you'll hear the rapid like clutter of pots and pans, and he rushes back out with meals. He's going double time.
Next would actually have gone to the bar.
Okay, yeah.
It's having seen Whisper, but before she catches eyes with her, what is it Whisper drinks? Just water, or she take ale or anything?
I don't think she drank last time. Did she, Whisper?
She had soup.
No, I mean, I
Two cups,
do I have drinking anything in front of you guys? I don't think I've drank anything in front of you guys.
So Vanessa will just, when Dennis comes back out, 2 waters, 2 ales, please.
Just to confirm, does that mean Whisper in a full day's trek in either direction through the forest? You wouldn't
No,
have
I
taken
mean,
like a
like,
walk
actually ordered a drink at a bar.
Oh, okay. She only drinks strange owlbear secretions.
Blah. It's
Okay.
true, though.
He's like, yes, yes. Forgive me. Good to see you at back. A good first day's work. Yes, ale, water. Yes. There you go. Oh, are you instead of half step back into the kitchen? Are you taking food?
We will, but for now, this is
Okay. And so I hear him. It's a no. He's like, yeah, cool. And just sort of nips back in, and you hear a bit of like heavy ladle stirring for a few minutes. Till he comes back out, and he's just in a bit of a hurry.
She stands there for a moment, looking at him, flustered and, being a tornado in the back. And then hearing Hazim come in, she'll snap out of that moment and take the drinks and pawn 2 of them off, a water and an ale off on him. Here.
A water and an ale.
Yes.
Okay. He takes a swig of the water, puts it down, and just holds onto the ale. He gives you a nod. The rest well earned.
Yeah. Whispers back there, and Vanessa just kind of cocks her head over and whispers direction.
I'll join you in a moment. I have other business.
Yeah, Vanessa will walk over with ale and water and set them in front of Whisper. Here, I didn't know what you would prefer, but you have your options now.
I will.
No, please.
I will take the water and just down it in one single, like, guzzle, and then I will just kind of pull one of the ales in and kind of sip at it.
So you do drink ale then?
Do you think I didn't?
I wasn't sure. I didn't want to presume. But so I bought both.
There are many places where the water is not safe to drink.
That makes a lot of sense. And Vanessa will just sit down, and she'll give one glance back at the bar again, seeing Hazim and Dennis just possibly engaged in something, but she'll look back down and just take out her journal and just start to go through it.
Can both Vanessa and Whisper make me a perception check, please?
Or
I'm a little high strung.
Yeah. Oh, wow, Whisper. Okay. So you see that there are 2 figures who are in much more peasant-like, for lack of a better word, garb over here. They appear to be, compared to everybody else in here, in a very, very low, hushed conversation, looking around quite nervously. With that perception check, I would also give you, Whisper, that you would recall that last night when you were here, there were 4 of these individuals, and now there are 2. And
Night before.
Pardon?
We camped overnight at the thingy. The night before.
Oh yeah, sorry. So yeah, night before. Yeah, they seem upset and bothered and are in quiet, low conversation. That's all.
Can I just attempt to listen in?
With 27,
What they're
I would
talking
get.
about?
With 27 being less than 10 feet away, with ears like that. Well, in terms of both role and physiology, I forgot actually. You would hear that they are. I don't know what else we can do. I'm not a fighter. The gods won't come down. The gods, they're deliberately not coming down there now. Deliberately, they were trying to wait for us to fail now because we've had failed to do it so far. But I'm not a fighter. It's a bear. It's worse than a bear. And now it's supposedly leaving that piss or whatever it was. It's what do we? Oh, what the fuck do we do? I don't want them kicking my door in and dragging me off and putting me on a spike. But what do we do? We have to go looking for it, or sit on the fence all night. And we've what? My father's rusted sword. It'll just carve through us. Behind you. And what of your wife? Eh? At this point, he just sort of like. Just sees that he's being. There's new people around and just quietly goes back to his mugs. And so, shut up.
Vanessa doesn't seem to be hearing anything, right?
No.
Not of those rolls, I'm afraid.
No.
Yeah.
No, I would say that. What's your perception? You're passive.
Oh my.
Oh, I mean,
God.
fuck it. You've got a natural 20, almost 30. Fuck. Yeah, you would see that she's
A passive 17.
Not-
Pretty big.
yeah, she's distracted, but it doesn't seem like she's distracted by the journal.
Did you see anything
I'm sorry, what?
on your way over?
No, just what they talked about. I saw some claw marks and some dirt had been thrown about. Some damage to the gates. That's all.
I considered looking myself, but I'm too worried about our own survival now.
I understand. This place is unfamiliar, and you are special, unique. And there are people who would celebrate that, but there are also people who would want to exploit it.
This place has sickness in more ways than the undead walking around. It has war sickness, and it is not a safe place to be.
I admit I've never been in any area that's been in so much conflict as this one. I've heard about it. I know, at least secondhand, what war can do to people. But these people are constantly living in it.
I feel that
If you could
when a
call it living.
wild animal feels it's no longer has any reason to live or ability to live, it'll reach a point where it spends its remaining energies actually directed towards dying, whether or not it realizes it. I believe many here have that.
Perhaps. I mean, humans are animals after all. We eat and shit and fuck and do all those things over and over until we die. And
No,
just-
humans are not animals.
you disagree,
Animals
then?
don't behave like men. If they have to fight, they fight. If they have to kill, they kill. They don't sit down and set their minds to work devising ways of spoiling other creatures' lives and hurting them. They have dignity and animality.
That's fair, but I think that what my point was is that the animal parts of us, most people don't contemplate their own life. They wonder where their life has ended up and how they ended up in the circumstances that they're in. But most people, and Vanessa kind of looks around the room with her eyes, scans it. Most people just live. They live and they operate and they're not too dissimilar from those zombies, from those creatures. They do the things that they do because it's what they know. They don't question it. And anytime they do question it, where there's any inclination, something stops them from taking that extra step. There are people, obviously, and maybe this is where you're right, that do go beyond, extend themselves beyond that to be kind or cruel in ways that I suppose most animals aren't. I think that's something you would know more about than I would. But I think the thing that chills me, seeing those things that we keep fighting and that they keep fighting is, and I presume it also chills them, is that they are them, just more damaged. But they're not that different from each other.
I think There's very little difference between the two sides in this war.
And with that, we will pan over to Hazim as he approaches Babar.
I will kind of look over, see where my companions have sat, and then walk over, seeing Dennis quite frantic. But I won't think too much of it. And good evening, Dennis. Can you tell me, have you seen a man named Keltesk in here?
Yes, he's behind you.
And look, it's literally this guy that's right here.
Yeah, but the guy who's just like...
Does he have a drink with him?
No. Well, it's like, yes, but you can see that it is at its dregs.
Yeah. Can I have another drink, please?
Yeah, yes, of course. Just passes one over to you before getting to chopping up some bread. Cutting up some bread.
I kind of look him over and I'll step forward to Keltes. Do I recognise that he was in here the other night? Does he I'm assuming everybody's
Possibly,
regular,
yeah,
so.
yeah.
He's sat in a chair. I can't tell what.
Yeah.
He's sat down.
Yeah.
Okay. I will sit down across from him and. Good evening. You may or may not have known. Your brother Ludwig was sent out on a mission with myself and my companions over there. We were sent to the guardhouse.
Okay.
And I kind of put the tankard down and I slide it over to him very meaningfully.
Okay.
He did not come back. He died out there.
Thank you for letting me know. He was a good man. He was a good man.
He was. He was very well informed. And he helped us all along the way.
He died cleanly?
Not straight away.
We didn't let him walk off, yes?
No, we burned him. He is gone.
All's well then. I'll tell our mother in the morning.
As it is.
Cheers to you and cheers to him.
And I'll kind of stand up and awkwardly, raise. If you want any conversation, my table is. It will have a spare seat if you wish to.
I'll keep that in mind.
Very well. To your brother.
Yes, to my brother. Rest well.
Rest well.
And just returns to his drink, and you're a few steps away and you hear him shout over and join into a conversation that's happened on the other side of the table, just chipping into a different conversation altogether.
Clearly nonplussed about it. It's just one of those things type
Yeah,
thing.
absolutely. He's probably one of 30 brothers.
I will, yeah, it's a fair point. I'll kind of cast a glance over at Dennis. It's not overly packed, so I'm going to kind of leave him be and head over and sit next to Whisper. Sit next to Whisper on the table.
I'm very conscious of the time remaining in our already longer session. Did anybody have any specific nighttime shenanigans they wanted, or are we happy to just have conversation, a bit of a debrief, and then go and get a night's sleep and see what happens tomorrow morning? We have 3 minutes to go through any specifics if anybody wants to.
I was just going to say, I feel like it's a good place to end. It's a somber place to end.
Yeah.
It feels good.
Okay. Then you stay here as long as you stay here. You have the conversations or the downtime conversations that you want to. We've got an inter-session roleplay channel you can talk about it in if you want, and we'll go through it. We'll go through at the start of the next session. But yeah, you all head back to your beds. That night, as each of you sleep, you each would feel a strange sensation as, unbeknownst to you, you all reach level 4.
Yes.
The first level up of the campaign.
Feels so good.
Oh
So,
my
yeah.
god.
And that is
Game
where
changer. The game changer.
and that is where we will leave it for the night.
Oh, I have to wait 2 weeks now to send. What's this bullshit?
Yeah. So, thank you very much, everybody. Let me just end all that ambience and start our title music. So yeah, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us for an extra length session of Fragments, which I'll now just try and sneakily trick Jack into committing to every week. We do not have a session for the next 2 weeks. I'm not available.
Me and Jack do.
Yeah,
We'll play without you.
that's fine. I'm not available, unfortunately, but we will just take a moment and we'll go around, just say who we were, who we played, and where people can find you throughout the week. I am now away for a little bit, but the next time you can see me is Harper's Variants, which I can't remember if it's next Tuesday, I think.
On the 12th. On the 12th.
On the 12th. I think that's the next place you can see me until I'm back at Fragments after that. But yeah, we'll go around. Next up, Jack.
I'm Jack. I play Vanessa. Grateful to have finally leveled up. You can't find me anywhere except here. So find me
Hidden.
whatever day. Tuesday. What's the date that you'll be back? Not the 5th, but the 12th.
I think our
19th.
next Fragments is the 19th. Sounds like
19th.
miles away.
Wow. Oh, exciting. Yeah. 19th. So I'll be here. In
Cool.
the meantime,
Thank you,
I
Jack.
will be nowhere.
Down to Mad.
I'm mad. 19th. I'll have probably found another campaign by then.
That's fine. That's what I'm gambling on.
Yeah. Oh, we all know this wouldn't happen without me. I am the Mad Cartographer. You can currently find me on patreon.com/themadcartographer. If you like Foundry stuff, then I am about to in April change around all my Foundry stuff for my tiers. All my tiers are changing up. If you want maps and you want assets for making your own maps and you want Foundry content and you want cool stuff, then come and check out patreon.com/themadcartographer. Alternatively, as you know what, I'm not even going to push Crucible because I feel like we're on a bit of a low bit while we're sorting stuff out. So yeah, just check out Mad Cartographer. It's pretty good.
Okay. Thank you. And then over to Luca.
Hi, I'm Luke Locke, and I'm actually off for the next 5 days, and then I'll be back for Madness Calls It Forth, our City of Mist campaign. And then again, I'm kind of just off for a bit. I have plans to go down to Westworld, and the reception there is really crappy, so I was not planning on streaming any games from there. That's it for me.
Cool. Excellent. So, right. Thank you very much, everybody. So, yeah, thank you for joining us. Thanks for sticking around. We will see you on the 19th. And until then, Quippy signing offline.